Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is finally here. The NFL playoffs begin today, and Awthentik and The Beard are right in the mix with a special edition of the Parlay. Today, we are bringing back last year's favorite segment from the playoffs, and obviously everybody's favorite segment from the world-famous Giant Overreaction, which is live every Monday. And I'm going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, who is the host of that amazing show. Awthentik himself is in the mix, ladies and gentlemen.
You kind of gassing me, man. You kind of gassing me.
I got to.
Props.
I mean,
we are in the playoffs. We are in the playoffs. I think we deserve a little bit of props here. I see you showed up in a lot of Notre Dame gear. You kind of abandoned your Washington football team stuff, Commander stuff for the year. Season came to an end.
Well, Saturdays are, generally a Notre Dame day, so I have to kind of stick
not
to
today.
No, not today, although I'm sure there are some Notre Dame alum floating around in some of these playoff games. I know there's definitely a grip on the New York Football Giants, so shout out to all those Notre Dame guys. Still waiting to get a trying to think, Julian Love's Notre Dame jersey, maybe. We'll see.
I mean, I thought you was going to show up, showing some love for us today. I tried to give you some suggestions, a little LeVar Arrington, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that might be a vibe.
I'll tell you what's really exciting, though, is Maryland, which is not too far from where we are here in the District of Columbia, is live betting available. So, I'm hoping to make some bets for some of these playoff games. I got some DraftKings lineups set up. I've been crunching a lot of numbers here with some of these guys. There's a lot of interesting lines out here for these playoff games today, tomorrow, and, of course, Monday. It's going to be very interesting. There's some really close matchups. And all of these teams have played each other already during the regular season. Some of these teams have played each other twice already. Today, all four of these quarterbacks are making their playoff debut, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see who can make that sort of Joe Burrow-esque run here in the playoffs. But big shout out to everybody who is watching us right now on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, home of Awthentik and The Beard, here on the YouTubes. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are giving out valuable betting information. But do not forget, we are not financial advisors.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I'm not
advice.
giving out too much valuable betting advice today. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna try to pick between these two games. It's going to be extremely difficult. The Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers game. I know a lot of people looking at the 49ers like, yeah, they're probably going to be the dominant team coming into that game. But with a young quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant himself in Brock Purdy, you don't know what one of these quarterbacks is going to do in the playoffs. Most of the time, I would lean towards the side of experience. And we know that Geno Smith has the experience, maybe not necessarily in the playoffs, but he is a seasoned veteran in this league. And Brock Purdy, has been pretty much lighting it up since he came into the lineup. And now you kind of got a little bit of a quarterback controversy going on in San Francisco. And then you got two of the, quarterbacks that are right there, either in the top five in some people's top fives or on the cusp of top fives going up against each other. I was joking with some homies in the group chat on Twitter, and I said this is the Sunshine Bowl because both of these kids got a real nice head of hair. And I think whoever wins this game might be able to take the bragging rights for that nickname Sunshine, even though we know that Trevor Lawrence right now has that. But two tough games to choose from, man. I'm still not decided. I haven't wrote down a score for either one of these games yet, and I haven't picked a team yet for either one of these games yet. I think of the four teams, the team that I'm leaning towards the most is probably going to get a victory is probably the San Francisco 49ers. But that Jaguars-Chargers game is going to be extremely difficult, and I don't want to be the one, that to be sleeping on my man Geno Smith when at the beginning of the year I was the one that was telling everybody else, don't sleep on Geno. I said if Geno could stay healthy, he could be a guy for this Seattle Seahawks team when most people thought that the Seattle Seahawks were pretty much like in tank mode, and they were just going to try to get themselves one of these top quarterbacks. So I'm looking forward to it, man. This is the tune-up for tomorrow for me. I tweeted out yesterday, you got 2 more nights rest, and we're going to have Giants in the playoffs. This is crazy. We haven't seen this since 2016. But this game right here is kind of like, this is the warm-up per se, So we're looking at it like I'm looking at it as a fan like this is my first round bye right here. I get to sit home, get to watch some playoff football, check the atmosphere, check the temperature, as my homie Dave Robb would say, and go into tomorrow and try to release some of these nerves with this Giants game because, man, it's going to be critical for us, man. It's win or go home time now, and we're going to see who does that today.
Yeah, and it's speaking of temperatures, it is freezing here in DC. I let the dog out, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" I saw a couple of snow flurries. It was definitely a very cold temperatures here in the District of Columbia. But without further ado, let's say some shout outs to some of the Awthentik and The Beard fam-a-lam in the building legends. They were out bright and early today. Big shout out to our guy Gregory, who is first in the building, one of our resident Dallas Cowboys fans. They got a couple of days of football playoff bye action before they kick off on Monday night. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen.
I really wanted that spot, Greg.
I think everybody kind of wants that spot. You know, it's a nice little spot. But the winner for that game, because they don't do a Monday night game in the second round, I don't believe. So the winner of that game is kind of on a short turnaround, I guess you would say. So I wonder how that feels
injury-wise
for the players.
Sure, but I'm sure a lot of these teams aren't going to practice on Monday anyway, like normal schedule.
Definitely. Big shout out to our guy, Stephen White, in the building with his trademarked hi, y'all. Appreciate you, Stephen, joining us as always. And our guy who said they can't wait.
My man Michael Knight, what's poppin', fam?
In the building. Great to see you as always,
Michael
sir.
Knight's real name is Michael Knight. I doubt it, but I wonder if his real name is Michael Knight.
I would probably put the over under on that at about 65%. So that would be
push on that one. I have no idea.
Big shout out to Coach Taylor. J-Mo's in the building. I actually wrapped up last night about 3:30ish in the morning, and I in order to put myself to sleep, I actually put on some Friday Night Lights. So shout out to Coach Taylor. Get myself in a little bit of a football mood. But I have to fast forward through all the drama stuff until I get really tired and then kind of get into some football. I got to see some Tim Riggins, some Smash, you know what I'm saying? I got to see some of my guys on the football field first. I've been going back and forth between some Any Given Sundays action as well, getting myself
that's
in
my
the
vibe
mood.
Right there. Friday Night Lights is cool, but I'm not big on series, man. I like movies. That's my vibe. I'm not too big on series.
See, I'm a junkie. I like to binge watch. So I do a lot of binge watching. Josie's been having me watch this HBO series. It's like some mythical stuff with these kids and different worlds and universes. It's wild stuff. Big shout out to Simon, RTDB. It is the time of the year where you got to be able to run the rock in the playoffs. That's very, very important. Big shout out to diehard Giants fan in the building. Appreciate you stopping by as always. Jay
is in the building.
Yeah, in the building. Jay Jean is in the mix as well. Shout out to all the Giants fans in the building. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Sean G is in the mix. Says, let's go. There's a lot of hungry Giants fans, including Crypto Moves. It says the Giants are hungry. Let the defensive beast feast.
I like that. Kayvon vibes. Let's get it. Let's get to
Barry is in the mix. What's going on, Barry? Good to see you, sir. Appreciate you.
I've been seeing Barry in the streams, the last couple of streams. Big shout out to Barry. I see you in that blue, bro.
Yeah. Oh, they're here. They're here. They're ready. Speaking of here and ready, big shout out to Cod001, one of our resident Cowboy fans. Says, "What's up, family? Appreciate this show today. It's about to get me through this hour and 45-minute car ride."
Gotta love a good podcast, and I'm not saying we got a good podcast, but you gotta love a podcast when you got a long trip, man. That's definitely the vibes. That's kind of how I got turned on to podcast, was like going through trips and whatnot. I remember at first it was comedy routines. I used to when we would take a long drive, I'd put on Mike Epps for 2 hours. Drive will feel like nothing, and then when the Combat Jack came out, it turned into podcast.
It definitely gets you through the mix. I've had some long drives over the last year. Tennessee, Atlantic City, Michigan. I mean, you can literally power through. A Pat McAfee show will get you through a good portion of your trip.
Sure.
Because that's like a 3-4 hour, show. So big shout out to Kai 001. Safe travels, my guy. Shout out to Carl, Sergeant Mayhem, Ligma already dropping his bets. Seahawks money line, Jaguars money line, Giants money line, Bucks money line.
Good 2 for 4 right there, I think.
Says it's free money. And we see you in the building. Edward Squires, Sebastian, everybody is in the mix. James Jones, Sal is in the building.
Shout out my guy Sal one time in the building, man. Gang is in the building. Let's go, man.
Dropping some Saquon lines. I'm liking
that. I think the receiving might be a little too high, Sal. Just a little bit. I'm going to go 105, and I'm going to go 32 receiving yards. Definitely a touchdown. Definitely a touchdown.
Michael Knight says authentic. You know my name. Big shout out to Bookend Tackles in the mix. Big shout out to Stephen Lilly, our guy. Bluegrass Picker is in the building. Zach is in the building, and Dan Cam surround
Gang is
us
in the building. What's poppin', Dan? How you living, fam?
So big shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate each and every one of you rocking with us right now this Saturday afternoon on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and of course right here on the YouTubes. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. YouTube,
man. Shout out Outglay, man. Hit me up yesterday. Was talking about he's trying to start a podcast. Got some advice. Chopped it up with him for like about a good 45. He was talking about the quarterback situation in Washington. I said, you know about the kid Anthony Richardson? He was like, nah, I ain't been looking at a lot of Florida football this year. So I was like, yo, look at these highlights real quick. He was like, I got a new kid on my radar now. So turned Outglay into an Anthony Richardson fan. Shout out to the fan from the chat, because a lot of them been high on Anthony Richardson for like at least a good year now, at least. So, but a big shout out to Outglay, man. I'm hoping he's going to do a real estate podcast, so he's going to holler at us when he comes into town and whatnot, get some more advice on it.
Nice.
Big you ready for these matchups, man?
I'm ready, man. Listen, I got some numbers cooked up. I'm excited. Listen, everybody in the chat, get your fingers ready, because this is going to be an interactive sort of show. We're going to need to hear from y'all. I'm going to need y'all to pull out those inner giant overreaction vibes that are inside of you and get ready, because this is going to be definitely a very, very fun show while we get you guys geared up and ready for the first games of the playoffs.
Playoffs, baby. Yeah, we can say that this year.
Y'all can say that. I mean, listen, I'm over here,
Ay is so foreign. that's from being around Josie for sure. Ay, and there's another one I can't think of right now, but that's definitely
Ay caramba.
That's definitely not 4 and 5s. That's like Crystal City, Ellicott City vibes right there. But, let's get off into this first matchup, man. This was going to be the Seahawks headed to San Fran to take on the 49ers one time. All right, Beard, talk to him, man. What we got here?
We got the Seattle Seahawks, who were, as we talked about earlier in this show, they were pretty much favored to be nothing in the beginning of this year. You had Geno Smith. The Seahawks and 49ers are facing off for the 3rd time this season. The Seattle Seahawks are 9-8. They are going to be headed to San Francisco's 13-4. The 49ers are 9-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 42. Now, you got some rookies in this game. You got Kenneth Walker, obviously, who bursted onto the scene, more so due to the injury, obviously, of Rashad Penny, the early retirement of Chris Carson, but had a fantastic rookie campaign. He was a guy I drafted in fantasy football this season. I had high hopes for him coming out of Michigan State, and I think he proved his worth here for the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, you got DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett teaming up at the wide receiver position for Geno Smith. Seahawks defense, a little iffy, especially when it comes to the run. Now, the 49ers defense is obviously, to most people, the best defense in the National Football League. They had a big midseason, trade, picking up Christian McCaffrey, which I think obviously bolstered an already very, very dangerous offense when you talk about George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and obviously Deebo Samuel. But as we all know, they're down now to their third starting quarterback, who's Brock Purdy.
Don't get too far off into Brock Purdy.
I'm not going to get too.
We got to talk about the coaches. We got to talk about this matchup a little bit.
Yeah, there's a
Brock Purdy bag. We got that bag on the side for sure here.
There's a lot of interesting players on the field, and obviously, this is going to be a good matchup. I think that 9 points is a little crazy. Maybe not really. I mean, obviously, San Francisco is really, really good, but playoffs. Division matchup. It's going to be interesting to see if this game is close or if it is a blowout.
I like the 9 points because if you look at the way that these two teams played each other early on in the year, even in that last matchup, I think that the Seahawks ended up losing that game by one score, by a touchdown. It wasn't that close. They ended up scoring a touchdown with, like, I think 3-4 minutes left in the game to kind of make that score look a little bit more respectable. But this one's going to be Saturday at 1:30 p.m. This one's going to be on Fox. You already know NFC vibes one time. The last meeting was 21-13. The 49ers won that game. That was on December 15th this season. Last week, we got to talk about last week here. The Seahawks beat the Rams, and this is why I'm kind of leaning even more towards the 49ers because it took overtime for the Seahawks to beat the Rams. They beat them 19-16 in overtime, and the 49ers straight beat the brakes off the Arizona Cardinals 38-13 last week. So they're coming in. The 49ers are one of the most hot teams right now in football. I mean, they've consecutively won a ton of games here. The Seahawks are in the playoffs for the 10th time in the Pete Carroll's 13 seasons as he's been the head coach over there, and the 15th time in the past 20 seasons. I think we got to give Russell Wilson his flowers a little bit because I think he only had one season where they didn't make the playoffs when he was over there. Seattle has never missed the playoffs in consecutive seasons since Pete Carroll took over in 2010. Pete Carroll now, he's the 9th coach in NFL history to make the playoffs in 12 different seasons, including 2 trips with New England. Seattle has 14 players on their 53-man roster, surprisingly, from the previous time it reached the postseason in 2020. And Seattle's 74 games of playoff experience on its roster are the second fewest in the NFC, ahead of only one team. You know who that one team is?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the New York Football Giants.
The New York Football Giants, man. Now, San Francisco, the 49ers are in the playoffs for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. They went to the Super Bowl in 2019 and the NFC title game last season. I think at the beginning of the year, a lot of people thought that they were kind of falling off. They had the whole quarterback situation going on with your boy Garoppolo and Lance. Then Lance ended up getting the injury. This kid, Brock Purdy, kind of comes out of nowhere. The 49ers ended the season on a 10-game winning streak. So you talk about momentum. If you believe in momentum, the 49ers definitely have some momentum coming into this game. They also went 8-1 at home. It's best home record since they went 8-0 in 1998. So the 49ers, I mean, if you're talking about a team on fire, they are the team, especially in the NFC, that is on fire right now. And they led the NFL with a 173, a plus 173 point differential. So they're beating teams. They're handling teams right now. Now let's talk about this offense one time and this kid, Brock Purdy, who, I mean, out of nowhere, Brock Purdy will be the lowest draft pick to start a playoff game at the quarterback position as a rookie after being drafted as the final pick in April. Purdy finished the season as the 2nd rookie with at least 6 straight games with multiple touchdown passes and the 3rd rookie quarterback to win his first 5 starts. Y'all know when I'm talking about our quarterback for the New York Giants, I always bring up this fact, and a lot of people like to overlook this. You know, I even posted this on Twitter recently talking about Daniel Jones and the consecutive games. It's about having back-to-back games with multiple passing touchdowns. Daniel Jones has not done that this entire season. And this kid who was the last draft pick in the entire draft in April has now just done that 6 straight games with multiple touchdowns. So to me, that shows this kid is ready for the bright spot. It kind of reminds me of like the Taylor Heineke story, but it's like Taylor Heineke 2.0. This kid can actually really play football. He had a 119 passer rating in his first 5 starts. It's the 2nd best for any quarterback in the Super Bowl era in his first 5 starts. There's only one other quarterback that had a better passer rating in his first 5 starts. You want to take a guess? NFC team as well.
NFC team. Eli Manning.
Come on, man. Do you remember Eli Manning's beginning of his career?
I mean, the way you were smiling, it sounded like it was going to be a Giants answer.
No way in hell it was Eli Manning. Eli Manning started off like 0-7. He struggled in the beginning of his career.
Let me think about this.
And it's not a rookie. Think of a quarterback that came in and he was just lights out.
Kurt Warner?
There you go. And now we're using that cap. That's what I'm talking about. It's definitely Kurt Warner. His first 5 starts, he had a passer rating of 131.4. Kurt Warner was that guy. We're going to talk about Kurt Warner a little bit later, too, in this matchup as well. San Francisco has scored at least 37 points in 3 straight games, which is, to me, that's just, they're showing you right now how they're beating teams. 6th time in franchise history that's happened for them. And we got to talk about George Kittle with this offense a little bit. He had 11 touchdowns this year. That was a career high for George Kittle. He did most of that work with Brock Purdy at quarterback. Yeah. He's got 7 of those 11 touchdowns in his last 4 games. You talked about Christian McCaffrey getting traded over there. He has scored at least 1 touchdown in 6 straight games. I was talking about that Zeke Elliott streak, which ended at 9 against the Washington Commanders, unfortunately. And I see when you was doing those over-unders, man, no Zeke Elliott over-underers. I was about to just pull one. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't do it. But I was like, the Beard, this is you not giving them their flowers right here. When we get the Monday show, you'll see. I'm like, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. And by the way, I had a dream last night. It's kind of off topic, but I had a dream last night that it was me, Rob Zero, and Dak Prescott. Me and Rob Zero were running routes, and Dak Prescott couldn't hit me on an out route. So I don't know if that yields too well for the Dallas Cowboys on Monday. We'll see how that goes. Now, the 49ers offense, they do come in. Overall, they're the 5th-ranked offense. They're the 8th-ranked rushing offense and the 13th-ranked passing offense, but the 6th-ranked scoring offense. So that offense is definitely on fire. The Seahawks and Geno Smith, they're a pretty decent offense as well. Overall, they're the 13th-ranked offense. They have the 18th-ranked rushing offense, which that was the most surprising to me with how Kenneth Walker has played this year. He's played really well. I thought their rushing offense would be a little bit better. Their pass offense is ranked 11th, and their scoring offense ranked 9th. We know Geno Smith completion percentage. He led the league all year long. He was over 70%. That last game kind of took him down a tick. He finished the year at 69.8%. I know he's not feeling too good about that. And he set franchise record for yards, man. That Geno, man, can I get that applause for Geno Smith? He had a great year, bro.
Absolutely.
So 4,282 yards, 399 completions on 572 attempts. Smith was the only quarterback in the league to play every snap for his team.
That's crazy.
I thought that was ridiculous. Every other quarterback stepped out of the game for at least a snap, or they had a blowout, or they got sat. He played every snap for his team this year. The Seahawks also had 2 1,000-yard wide receivers this year with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, and they had a 1,000-yard rusher with Kenneth Walker. That's the 2nd time that trio has happened like that in franchise history. They did it back in 1995 with Chris Warren. A lot of people forget about Chris Warren. He was a dog. And their 2 wide receivers were Brian Blades and Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway was a dog, too. He was a beast.
Joey Galloway was a beast.
He was definitely a beast, man. And I think that Kenneth Walker is going to be, if Seattle has a chance in this game, you got to get Kenneth Walker going early. And I know that the 49ers defense, they're a little bit more susceptible to the pass because their pass defense is ranked 20th, right? But I think that a lot of the reason why you have to get that running game going is to protect Geno Smith. If you looked at the last game, that was their biggest problem. Geno Smith just didn't have enough time. He was under duress all day. He looked uncomfortable for probably the first time. And I haven't seen every one of the Seahawks games, but I've seen most of the Seahawks games. And it was the first time I saw that old Geno from back when he was playing with the Jets, where he just looked a bit frightened, you know, and kind of looked like Sam Darnold when he was with the Jets, kind of seeing some ghosts out there. So I think Kenneth Walker needs to have a big game. You want to start with the run, get the running game clicking. Kenneth Walker, 2nd rookie in franchise history to rush for more than 1,000 yards, joining
Sean Alexander,
Kurt Warner. Another Kurt Warner in 1983 for the Seattle Seahawks, rookie running back Kurt Warner. He rushed for over 1,000 yards as well. And, you know, speaking of that 49ers defense, to me, this is the tough part. You got Bosa over there, man. Led the NFL, 18.5 quarterback sacks. He had 3 sacks, 13 pressures in 2 regular season matchups versus the Seattle Seahawks. You got to find a way to contain him and don't let him get to Geno Smith. Keep the tight end in. Do whatever you got to do. I don't care if you got to bring in a backup offensive lineman and keep him on the outside of the line so that you don't get this pressure in Geno Smith's face. Do what you got to do. This 49ers defense, man, ridiculous. I mean, these numbers are just ridiculous to me. The 49ers had a positive turnover margin in 8 straight games for the longest active streak in the NFL and the longest streak in franchise history. The 49ers held teams to 70 rushing yards or less in 11 out of the 17 games this season. It matched the 2010 Steelers, the 2000 Ravens, which we know all about that 2000 Ravens defense, especially Giants fans, for the most games where you hold opponents under 70 rushing yards in the Super Bowl era. They're also the 6th team since the merger to lead the league in turnover margin, points allowed, and yards allowed. 3 of those previous teams that led, they won the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
I just been a little bit weary about the San Francisco 49ers because of the quarterback situation over there. I'm just like, is a young quarterback like this, that's the last pick in the NFL? This is a Disney movie if this kid can take them to the Super Bowl.
1000%. And the thing is too is he hasn't had like a bad game yet.
Not one. He has all his games that he's played in, he's thrown for multiple touchdowns. The kid is balling out. So he hasn't even sniffed a bad game.
No.
I can't even think of a turnover. I think he made like one mistake in this whole run that he has had with the 49ers. Seahawks defense is pretty decent. You know, I like what they did in the last matchup. They kept the 49ers right around that 20-point range. I think that's really important. If they're going to have a chance to win this game, I think they're going to have to hold San Francisco under 20 points. I think that's really what it is. Force Brock Purdy into a turnover. That you need an interception, a strip sack. You need something. And I think maybe the guy to do is going to be Quandre Diggs. Quandre Diggs has had a really good season. And he had an interception in the final 2 games of the season. And he's also the only player in the league with at least 3 interceptions in each of the past 6 seasons. So if there's somebody out there that can make a play, I think it could be him. If not, get some pressure on the quarterback. Try to force Brock Purdy into making a young man mistake. That's really their only shot. I don't think you can just drop back, have Geno Smith drop back, throw the ball 40 times, and you're going to win this game. The pressure on the quarterback is going to be a thing. I know Pete Carroll's going to come out here and try to address it. They say it's really hard, and I heard Keyshawn Johnson talking about this again just a couple of days ago on their show. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times, man, you know?
It's very hard. It doesn't happen quite often. You know, so I think, what was that? That was a Super Bowl run where Tampa Bay made, where the Saints had beaten Tom Brady twice, and then he came out and beat them in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, 2020, yeah.
And I think there's 3 of the matchups are like that, where there's teams that are playing each other for the 3rd time. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup.
Giants did that too in our run. I want to say it might have been Dallas. No, it wasn't Dallas. I feel like we did that in one of our runs. I know we beat teams that beat us in the regular season when we beat Green Bay, San Fran. I'm not too sure, though. Maybe the Giants didn't do it with a team that beat them twice in the regular season. But this is going to be a tough matchup. I mean, the Seahawks this is the biggest underdog matchup of the weekend, if you ask me.
Hands down. I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, you know, just because, you know, Seattle. The whole thing about Seattle's run too that's super crazy is I can't stress it enough. They were literally, you know, picked to finish like as one of the worst teams in the NFL. And the fact that they made it here to the playoffs, you know, after losing Russell Wilson, you know, and they lost some guys on the defensive side too. Bobby Wagner is hands down one of the best linebackers to play the game of football. Yep. And they're without Bobby Wagner, who is a top tier, you know, tackle guy year in and year out. And not even just that, but an emotional leader for that team. So, you know, they had a lot of guys step up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole Legion of Boom, the collapse of it, you know, this is a totally different team. I mean, yeah, they still got the 2 guys on the outside, you know, with DK and Tyler Lockett, but this is pretty much a totally different team. You had what was my man at the running back, Chris? Now I want to say Chris Warren because that name came up recently, but Chris Carson. Yeah, you know, he was their guy, and then he had that like career-ending injury, I believe it was. You know, and Kenneth Walker just comes out of nowhere. You know, I can remember Alex talking to me about Kenneth Walker at the beginning of the year in our fantasy league, and he was just like, "Yeah, I cut him. I didn't even think he was going to be a guy, and I didn't think that either." And he just came out of nowhere and just started balling out, man. Dealt with a little bit of a stretch there with some injuries and whatnot, but nonetheless has been the driving force for the Seattle Seahawks. And Geno Smith, man, a guy that everybody counted out. I'm glad Geno Smith, you know, got himself together and his career looks really good now. And now the Seahawks might not need to draft a quarterback. We'll see. I think Geno Smith might be a free agent at the end of the year.
He's a free agent. But it's interesting because what was the bar that he dropped in the beginning of the year? He said, you know, everybody tried to write me off, but I ain't write them back.
Yeah.
You know who wrote us back, though? Big shout out to Stephen Lilly for the £5 super chat. Says, hiya, boys. How worried are you guys? Winks blitz may leave holes for the Vikings. I'm scared of Jefferson. Let's go. Number 56, GOAT.
I'm worried about Jefferson. You got to be. I mean, Jefferson's a guy. And what was the other part of that? The beginning of that? You took it off so fast.
Sorry, my apologies. The blitz.
Oh, Wink and the blitz.
Yeah.
I think Wink has shown you that he can have balance towards this back half of the season. So I got full confidence in Wink Martindale. The personnel, that's going to be another thing. These guys got to go out there and make the plays. That's the thing, you know. It's a good thing we're getting healthy back there in the secondary, man. Adoree Jackson is definitely going to be back. He wasn't on the injury report this week, so that's awesome. But I trust Wink, and I think he'll learn from his mistakes. The 2 3rd and longs that happened in the first matchup against the Minnesota Vikings that didn't really cost us the game, but was the last, effort that we could have made there to maybe make a stop and force that game to go to overtime. You know, he sends some blitz there. He faked the blitz on the last one where they ran the screen to Justin Jefferson. Kayvon Thibodeau got blocked up pretty nicely, and then the guys in the secondary get blocked up and they end up converting on like a third and 10 or 3rd and 12 or something like that. I think Wink, the one thing about his defense is 3rd and long that has been an issue this year. I think they're gonna look at the tape and they're gonna go out there and they're gonna try to correct it as best as they can. I mean, will it lead to a win? I'm not 100% sure, but you're going to have to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get that pick.
Big shout out to Fat Guy in a Little Coat. Says it was Dallas in 2007.
Yeah, I thought it was. My memory, man, is kind of shot, man. Them 420 vibes killing them brain cells off one time.
Oh, man. So, should we jump right into these
before we
over-and-unders?
get some score predictions, let's go into some over-unders here. We're going to be doing 6 over-unders for each game here. And y'all can spam the chat as much as you want. Let us know what you think about this. The Beard came up with these from some of these lines here, man, cooked these up. And the graphics department was up extremely late last night. I was telling the Beard, though, I don't even get bags under my eyes like that. And when I came on the stream today, I was like, thank God this show was a little bit later, because if this was an 11 a.m. show, I'd have probably showed up like 5 minutes late.
And remember, these lines, depending upon where you guys and girls are placing your bets, every sports book is a little bit different. So some of these lines, will fluctuate, obviously, between different sports books and depending upon the time that you make these bets. But I try to get, some of the lines that made the most sense, some of the most intriguing ones. So I'm curious to see what everybody thinks is going to be the overs and unders for these player prop bets.
All right, let's start with Mr. Irrelevant himself real quick one time in this one. And these are all going to be for this first matchup here between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. What you thinking about this one with your boy Brock Purdy one time?
All right, so over under Brock Purdy. And once again, shout out to the graphics department for that very elegant, clean-looking name, autograph, signature. Brock Purdy himself, over under 1.5 passing touchdowns. So Brock Purdy has, as we have talked about already, has had at least 2 touchdowns in every single start. So, I mean, the line at 1.5, I mean, you're kind of thinking, I mean, he's thrown at least 2 touchdowns every single start. Okay. And so Seattle has allowed only 2 quarterbacks, though, in the last 6 games to throw for 2 touchdowns. Now, there are some sketchy quarterbacks that have played.
That's what's funny.
It's one of them. There are some sketchy quarterbacks that have played Seattle over that time period. But this, to me, is a really tough line. And obviously,
Baker Mayfield being one of them.
Yeah, I think some combination of Jets quarterbacks were one of them. I think the only two quarterbacks to do it, I believe, were Jared Goff and Brock Purdy. But this is the playoffs. Do they rely on Brock Purdy to throw the rock? That's the big question. Or are they going to give it to Christian McCaffrey? We have to kind of wait and see. Let's see what a lot of the people in the chat are saying. Got a nice little mix here. Ligma says I jinxed it. He's going under. A lot of O's, some U's. I don't know. Where are you at with Brock Purdy on
I'm
over?
I'm going to take the under on this one. I just think like the streak has been going on for too long. The playoff atmosphere is going to make things move a little bit faster. I think that Shanahan's going to play this one pretty smart and probably try to rely on the run as much as possible. You do got Deebo Samuels coming back in this game. I think that's going to play a factor in it too. Would it surprise me if he got 2 touchdowns in this game? Absolutely not. I'm going to take the under on this one though.
They're going to need, I feel like feel like somebody's gonna break. I'm gonna go over. I have a weird feeling. I like McCaffrey like on a screen maybe for a touchdown pass, and then maybe like Kittle on a red zone target. It just feels like they can get there. So I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna keep a note here of the Authentic and the Beards over and under picks.
Got you. I was about to do the same thing. Got you.
Might put together a little parlay. Shout out to the parlay, which is live today and will be live tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Authentic is going under. The Beard is going over. And you guys are pretty mixed here. We got Sebastian over, Ligma under, Gregory over. Zach over says he's going to go for 3 touchdowns.
Okay. I wouldn't surprise me either. I'm going to keep it funky. Seattle come out here and don't step up with that defense. It would not surprise me if he threw for 3.
Stephen White's taking the over. Gregory's taking the over. And Balinese is taking the over. So a lot of people like the over here.
I might be enunciating that wrong, but Balinese, I think them glasses them Jones need to get a little more focused.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I messed that up.
But that name always, every time I see Balenci or Balenci, I think it's Balenci because I'm thinking like Balenciaga. But every time I see that name, I got to remind myself like how to try to enunciate it. You let me know if I'm, saying that the wrong way, but Balenci sound fire, right? You got the new Balenci, cuz that's
the
Balenci
Ligmas,
Balenci, bro. Bill Lency sounds like a terrible white center. Bill Lency at the free throw line.
I like that. I mean, I'm not a, you know me, like I'm more of a, street guy. I don't know nothing about these Balenciagas. I remember the first time I saw Junior wearing a pair of Balenciagas. I said, "What in the world are those, man?" He said, "Man, these are Balenciagas." I said, "What?"
The crib guy.
What is a Balenciaga? Let me show you. I got the fly Balenciagas on right now.
That's what I'm talking about. You ain't in the streets with them things.
All right, so we're split Authentic and the Beard right here on over under 1.5 passing touchdowns. What do we have next, Authentic, coming up?
We're gonna talk about Mr. Christian McCaffrey himself.
Christian McCaffrey, ladies and gentlemen, over under 113.5 scrimmage yards. This one is tough. Okay, so I'm going to break this down for you. Christian McCaffrey has gone over 113.5 scrimmage yards in 4 of the last 6 games. But he is only averaging 110 total yards from scrimmage per game on the season. So
that's damn close.
It's very close. Now, it just Seattle's run defense has been pretty spotty this season. I do think that in this particular matchup,
they've been a little worse than spotty. They're third worst in the NFL at stopping the run.
So I think that they're probably going to lean on McCaffrey, especially given the that is including Carolina's stats. Yes, Kai. It is. I think they're going to lean on McCaffrey early in this game to kind of ease Purdy in. Because as good as Purdy has been so far, since he's been the starting quarterback, we have to remember that this is the playoffs. Everything changes when it comes to the playoffs, okay? No matter who's playing, everybody, that first couple of minutes of a playoff game are either going to be extremely sloppy, 3 and outs, some penalties, or it's going to be, incredible Devin Hester sort of vibes. Like those are typically how these playoff games start. I think that this is, to me, I feel like it's a no-brainer because I feel like they're going to lean on McCaffrey heavy and given the matchup with the Seattle Seahawks. So I am going to take the over Christian McCaffrey, 113.5 scrimmage yards.
Yeah, NYB SMM5 brings up a couple of good points here about Seattle probably going to stack the box and the weather. The weather out there, too. They're supposed to get some rain. I'm going to take the over in this one. I think both teams are going to try to rely on establishing the run first to try to then open up the pass. So, yeah, I'll take Christian McCaffrey over to 113.5.
Let's see where we are at in the chat right now. Make sure you guys are dropping us in the chat. Let us know what you think over, under. Kai 001 is going to go with the over 113.5 scrimmage yards. Stephen White is also going to go with the over. Zach giving you the details, says under. He will have
He know about the giant
112
overreaction, man.
yards, missing it by 1.5.
That's the vibes. You got to explain why you picking the under, especially when you're picking against the chat right now, because there's a ton more overs in the chat right now.
Gregory is going with the over. Ligma is also going with the over. Raziel, the great.
Rozelle, man. How many times this dude, he been in the crib, man. He talking about he was in the streets. He been in the crib.
Raziel. I was trying to, pull that
razzle dazzle. That's what you tried to do.
OG Knockout is going with the over as well.
What's going on, OG?
Sebastian says over easily like your eggs in the morning.
More of a scramble with cheese type player.
I know you are. I know you are. But, I thought it was fitting for the line. My guy James Funk checking in from Facebook says under. Both will be playing.
That's true.
The run.
That's true.
But then the good thing is McCaffrey can, you can play the run, but then McCaffrey get a little squirt, out in the little flats and he take it for a good 50 yards.
Yeah. I think they will rely on a lot of that, man. And he will be a security blanket. Check downs are going to be important in this game.
Absolutely. All right, so moving on from the running back position, what do we have next for the over-under segment? Authentic.
Going with George Kittle.
This one right here. This one looks like, when you see it on the screen, over-under 44.5 receiving yards. Seems like an easy peasy, right? Like a nice little piece of cake. So we got over or under 44.5 receiving yards for George Kittle. Okay, on the season, George Kittle is averaging, you want to say he's averaging over or under?
He's probably averaging under. He started slow and ended slow.
George Kittle is actually averaging 51 receiving yards a game this year. So just a tad over the 44.5. Now, how many times has George Kittle gone over 44.5 in the last 6 games? Only twice.
Twice, huh?
Only twice has George Kittle gone over 44.5 receiving yards in the last 6 games. Now, he was only healthy.
Make it 7.
Make it 7?
It's 7. Make it 7.
For the last 7. Or 2 of the last 7. So that's a little cause for concern here. But he was only healthy for one of the matchups against Seattle this season. And in that matchup, he did go over 44.5 receiving yards. So
he doubled
this
up
one,
on that.
this one is a little tricky. This is definitely a little tricky here. But for me, I feel like Brock Purdy, we talked about how Kittle has kind of been in his best this season since Purdy has come along. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the coaching and the scheme. Generally, a lot of times, backup quarterbacks love to use their tight ends because it's a little bit of a safety blanket. I feel like in this game, you're going to have to kind of, get Purdy in a rhythm. And in order to do that, I think a lot of rhythm is built with quarterbacks based upon the play of the tight end. This one for me is a little bit more difficult. But I feel like he's going to get over. I feel like he's going to be in that to get in the details. I feel like he's going to be in that 45 to 50 yards receiving range. So I'm going to take the over on George Kittle, 44.5 receiving yards.
I'm going to take the over too. I'm going to take the over, I think. I mean, it's going to be tough for both of those to hit the Christian McCaffrey scrimmage yards and this. You also got Debo here. You got Brandon Ayuk here. You just never know where they're going to direct, their passing attack, especially, man. So it could happen. It couldn't. I'm going to take the over, man. George Kittle's been playing some good football. The last 2 weeks didn't look too good for him, but, he did have that big game 3 weeks ago where he went over 100 yards. He was looking like that guy.
Yeah.
I think he had 2 touchdowns in that game, too. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns in that game. He's been more of a touchdown maniac the last couple of weeks. I wish we would have put an over-under on the touchdowns because he's got at least 2 touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games.
So you have Brock Purdy at under 1.5 touchdowns. So he's going to only have 1 touchdown according to Authentic. Is that touchdown going to go to George Kittle?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll go to Kittle.
So little sidebar bet action here for everybody in the chat. Authentic has George Kittle anytime touchdown scorer in this game today. Big shout out to Ligma, who's taking the under 44.5. Says he is not even sniffing 30 yards.
It could happen, man. It could happen.
That's going to be interesting. Gregory's going to take the over. Stephen White is going to take the over. Rozelle is going to take the over. Don't care what the weather does. Kai 001 is going to
not
take.
Going to be like nothing treacherous that'll really stop, the skill positions from doing what they got to do. These are professionals at the highest level.
Yeah, and it's California. It probably won't rain the whole time. Maybe a little bit of rain here, a little bit of rain there.
Man. I've been talking with Mike Swan and them. They're like, dog, when's it going to stop raining out here, yo?
Oh, yeah, they've had that. They've had some really bad extreme weather out there in California, unfortunately. So shout out to everybody. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. Bluegrass Picker is taking the over on George Kittle, 44.5 receiving yards. OG Knockout is going to take the under. Shout out to NYBSMM5 says over. He'll have more yards than the receivers. He's going to be the blanket for Purdy.
Seems like it. It definitely seems like it. IU had some stand-up games this year, too.
Stephen White's going to say 87, so almost double what it is. Zach's going to give us the under. Let's see where we are at. Rozelle says way over. Kittle is the ultimate safety blanket. And Fahad says, dude, who the best tight end?
The best tight end, Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. But George Kittle is a guy that is right there.
Top 5.
The line has not moved since this morning, as far as I know. The latest line I had this morning was at 9 as far as the game goes. The 44.5 receiving yards, that might vary depending upon the sports book that you are using. So that wraps up the San Francisco side of the over-under. It's time to get into some Seattle Seahawks action. Who we got first?
Got Geno right off the bat.
Geno Smith over under 225.5 passing yards. Okay, San Francisco 49ers only allow 222.9 passing yards right now this season. But 5 of the last 6 games, San Francisco has allowed the quarterback to throw over 225 yards. Geno Smith this season has gone over 225 yards 9 times. But Geno Smith has only gone over 225.5 passing yards 2 times out of the last 6 games. And in the matchups against San Francisco, he has gone over 225.5 passing yards 1 out of the 2 matchups. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I think Geno Smith is 3 games out of the last 6. 225, right?
Over 225.5, so he has to have 226.
Yeah, he's gone over 3 times out of the last 6, so half the games. I'm going to say I'm going to take the under in this one, man. And I saw in the chat that MYB was saying, like, y'all don't understand. The beard don't understand. I know it's coming down over there. It's raining. But at the same time, I still don't think it's going to stop guys like George Kittle in the middle of the field. It's going to hurt those wide receivers on the outside more, guys like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I'm going to take the under on this. I just think it's going to be an ugly game, man. Geno Smith, this pass rush is going to hurt his chances of getting the ball down the field and letting his wide receivers get some depth. So give me the under in this one. Not too far under. I'd say 212 for Geno.
It's tough because I feel like they're going to end up being forced to pass the ball. Like, for me, I'm always a little worried about, like, in these sort of situations where it's like fourth quarter or, trying to come back or.
Yeah, the garbage time.
And
last time they played, he did go over 225 last time that he played the San Francisco 49ers. He had 238.
It's going to be so close. I think he's going to fall just short. I think he's going to be in that 220 range.
That really, you know what, man? Go ahead and I want you to the weather. I'm sticking with it.
So we're both going under. Geno Smith, 225.5 passing yards. Let's see where we're at. We got James Funk taking the over 225.5. We got Gregory taking the over. Kai siding with the beard and authentic at under. OG Knockout's going to take the over. Bluegrass Picker with the under. Sebastian's taking the over. He's falling victim to the fall behind stats. He says Seahawks are going to fall behind, so he's going to take the over.
I feel him on that.
Ligma's going to take the under. Rozelle going to take the under, but not by much. That's where I'm at right now, like on that sort of 220. Maybe I move this line and I take an alternate and I go like over 180. Feel a little bit better about it, But Michael Knight's taking the under, says 195. Zach's taking the under because Seattle will have more rushing attempts than passing attempts. Rozelle's putting it at the 212 to 218 line. That makes a little bit of sense right there. NYBSMM5 is taking the under, maybe 150 yards. Stephen White is taking the under. And shout out to those of you who are just joining us. Kareem Yee is in the building. El Jefe is in the building. And our guy Waterfly is in the building.
Now, the thing about this Seahawks 49ers matchup with Geno, last time they played, and I heard NYB talking about the balance and whatnot, that they were going to run it more. They only rushed the ball 14 times last time they played. Geno threw it 44 times. If they get down in this game, he's got to breach that. I'm going to change it. I think Geno's going to be able to be accurate no matter the weather. I'm taking the over. I want to take the over. Too many things telling me take that over.
So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to hedge my bet on parlay, and I'm going to get an alternate passing yards line, and I'm going to take the over 180.
Yeah.
I think
180, I think he'll definitely get there. He should breach 200, man. Geno, he's been accurate all year, man. He can get rid of that ball. I think he's going to know the emphasis is going to be on getting rid of the ball quicker, and Pete Carroll should set up a game plan that lends a little bit more towards that. So I'm going with the over 225. They should be behind in this game for a good portion of it. I would say around like at least a field goal or a touchdown, and we'll see a little bit more passing. Maybe not as much as we saw in that last matchup.
Man, now you got me. I'm gonna stick with it, just under. I just think he gets to like 220 probably.
Yeah,
I'm thinking more Kenneth Walker game. I like Kenneth Walker.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully that's their shot. I feel like to really win the game is if Kenneth Walker really gets clicking. But I don't know, man. This 49ers defense, bro. You heard the stat about 70 yards or less, man. 11 games. They force you to throw the ball, and their offense is good.
Yeah, it is. So speaking of Kenneth Walker, where are we at with Kenneth Walker in this game? Kenneth Walker, ladies and gentlemen, over under 59.5 rushing yards. I already see Ligma in the chat talking about slamming the over for Kenneth Walker. So Kenneth Walker has gone over 59.5 rushing yards 7 of the 13 games he's played in this year. He has gone over 59.5 3 of the last 6 games, but failed to go over 59.5 both matchups against San Francisco this year. San Francisco, as we talked about, only allows 77.7 rushing yards total to teams, and only one running back by themselves have gone over 59.5 rushing yards against the San Francisco 49ers defense in the last 6 games. All of that being said, 59.5 seems so low. Like, I feel like he could get to 60, right?
Yeah. I mean, this defense is really good. You would think that, this is the NFL. A starting running back, just about every starting running back should be able to get over 59 yards. Pretty easy. But this is a different defense. This is a different kind of a monster, man. And I told you, I've been sleeping on them damn near all year. I've been sleeping on this 49ers team. And they just keep winning games, and they keep winning games impressively on the back of that defense. I'm going to take the over in this one, though. I mean, it's just 59.5. I got to take the over in this one. I wish it was some combination of scrimmage yards here because I think they could utilize him in the passing attack as well, but I'm going to go with the over.
Now, I have to take the over. I just feel like 59.5 is just allowing us an opportunity to make some money. So I'm also going to take the over. It's not going to be easy. If he gets to like 60 plus yards, it's probably going to be on like 22 carries or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless he breaks one.
Which
unless
is what
he
he's going
breaks
to need.
one.
He's going to need a big play.
When we say big play, what are we thinking? He gets like a 20-yarder?
Some kind of an explosive play. I mean, you get like a run over 15 yards, you're set right there. He is coming into the playoffs with 3 straight games, 100 yards.
Yeah.
And they've been hammering the rock for sure. 29 attempts against the Rams, 23 against the Jets, 26 against the Chiefs. Yeah, that looks like a healthy running back to me. Yeah, I'm taking that over 100.
Shout out to Ligma who says, slamming the over for Kenneth Walker. Over for sure, NYB. Rozelle, over. Gregory with the first under in the chat says he is taking the under. Kai001 is with the over. Balancy. Balancy's taking the over.
I still think you're butchering that. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat, but that's just mouse slippers, bro.
Bluegrass Bicker is taking the over. D Saturday White is taking the under. Stephen White is taking the over. Zach's taking the over, just over 61-69.
I like that.
Rozelle says he's averaging 70 yards per game this season. James Funk checking in for Facebook says he's taking the over. Walker is the real deal. Michael Knight says just barely over 65-75 yards. OG Knockout agrees. Let's see. He is also taking the over. So it's going to be quite interesting. Quite interesting. Now, we talked about the 2 guys on the outside, but we're only going to talk about one, and it's going to be an interesting one. What do we have in the books for DK Metcalf? DK Metcalf, ladies and gentlemen. These reception ones are always super tricky. Very, very tricky.
When
DK
you asked
Metcalf.
me before the show, this was the one that I was like, dang, 4.5?
DK Metcalf over or under 4.5 receptions. So DK Metcalf hit over 4.5 receptions. So basically had 5 or more receptions in 11 of the 17 games this season. He has gone over 4.5 receptions 4 out of the last 6 games. And against San Francisco, he did it 1 out of the 2 matchups. San Francisco has allowed 9 receivers in the last 6 games to get over 4.5 receptions. So, I mean, this is another one where they're really, really testing you. Like, now, let's say
Easy for me, though.
It's easy for you?
Yeah.
This is an easy over for you?
Easy over, yeah.
That's what scares me. The easy overs.
I mean, you can't trick yourself into, like, going under, you know? The kid does it. He quietly has had a really good year, man. 1,000 yards. He's putting up the numbers. You said it, 11 out of 17. If I told you 11 out of 17 cards in the deck are going to win for you, would you take the remaining cards or the 11 cards? You would take the 11.
All right, I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, but I ain't telling you what to pick. I'm trying to win here at the same time, too. This is for bragging rights. I'm taking the over.
Well, I'm going to take the over as well. It's just, I don't know. I'm a little worried because you know how sometimes it's like a DK game or a Lockett game, you know, and then obviously if they're going to be pounding the ball 20-plus times in the game, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. So I am going to take the I'm going to take the over as well.
In those 3 games where Kenneth Walker has gone over 100 yards in those last 3 games and whatnot to end the season, he's only gone over it 1 time. That was against the Chiefs. So, I mean, that does make some sense there.
But then
they're definitely going to run the ball.
They're probably going to be behind, though, like they were in that Chiefs game and need to throw. So, you know.
Yeah.
It always helps when you see a guy like DK get like 2 catches on the first drive. Then when you have the over on something like that, it makes you feel a little bit better. NYB is going to take the over on DK. Ligma is going to take the under for DK. And this other thing, too, what if he gets like 4 catches? That's the one that just kills you a little bit right there. Rozelle is going to take the over. Gregory is going to take the over. OG Knockout taking the over. And then we have an official word on the how this is pronounced.
Balenci.
Mm-hmm.
I figured.
Okay. So I was wrong, right?
Balenci. And then you said Balinese. Yo, that's like when you got that teacher in school butchering your last name. I'm
that
very
is
accustomed to that.
to this day, that is one of the best comedy skits for me I've ever seen. The K and
I don't even think I've seen that one yet. Key and Peele.
Key and Peele. You never seen it?
He said K and Pele. He can't even say Key and Peele.
You never seen that where they're doing they're reading off the people's names in the classroom.
Oh, for the draft and whatnot. Is it the draft?
No, they do it it's a classroom, and he's like a substitute
nah.
teacher, and he's reading the people's names, and he reads like the normal names, like with like very different readings, and that's where he gets like, "Hey, Ron, is Ron here?"
Yeah, I never seen that, Joe. I gotta see that. I haven't seen many of the Key and Peele's though. I've only seen like a few episodes of that show.
It
I was
is
biased because they replaced Dave Chappelle, and Comedy Central was just like, yeah, we'll just get next man up.
Yeah,
you can be the next Dave Chappelle. I was like, I'm good on that Key and Peele vibe, but it is a funny show, and I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele. Big fan of his films.
That one is definitely an instant classic. It will absolutely be hilarious. You're gonna love that. Kai 001 is taking the over. Ligma says there's a Tyler Lockett game. Anthony Jackson is taking the over plus a touchdown. So he's throwing you a little bit of an extra bone.
DK get a touchdown. Seahawks got a good shot in this game, I feel like.
D Saturday Flight is taking the under. And Anthony Jackson says he's got a parlay Metcalf and Eckler anytime touchdown scorers. And big shout out to Kai 001 who concurs and says it is a classic. All right, that's going to wrap up this game. So just for, measurements here, Awthentik is going over on everything except for the Brock Purdy touchdowns.
Which I should. I might as well just clean slate, go over on them all for real, right? Because Brock Purdy probably going to get 2. That 1.5 seemed kind of low for him.
And I'm going over on everything except for Geno's passing yards.
Yeah. I told you none of those really scared me like that. I don't, that the one with DK's reception, I was just like, 4.5, man, he should be able to get that.
It's gonna. That's the best part is going back to these and seeing where we're at. I mean, I'm gonna put some. If we get, depending on when we finish here, I'm gonna put some money on these parlays. I'm gonna do an authentic parlay. I'm gonna do a beard parlay. We'll see who hits.
That's what's up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, up next, game number 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the second game of the day, the night game, it is the Los Angeles Chargers, 10-7. Justin Herbert finally making it to the playoffs. They are 1.5-point favorites. They are headed to Jacksonville, who went from the number 1 pick, the worst record in the league, to division champs. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 9-8. The over-under in this game is 47. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik. I just realized that we're gonna have to give our picks for that earlier game at the end here.
Oh yeah, we did kind of skip that. Okay, so we'll do that. I'm all good for that.
All right.
All right, man. So this game, man, I think this is the most difficult one, obviously, to choose of Saturday, but maybe one of the most difficult ones of this whole wild card round here. Last time these two teams met up, the Jaguars beat the brakes off the Chargers 38-10, and I believe that game was a home game for the Chargers. Yup, that was in Los Angeles. And last week, the Chargers pulled a idiot move, tried to start their starters in a meaningless game. They ended up losing to the Broncos 31-28. The Jaguars beat the Titans to clinch the division. They beat them 20-16. This is Brandon Staley's first postseason appearance as a head coach and might be his last. I don't know if he's going to be over there when all's said and done. It is not looking too good. I'm getting a text message from Benny, who should know that we are live right now. He's sending me like, wow, put it in the chat, Benny. If you hear, man, put it in the chat, bro. But the Chargers and the Jaguars have never met in the postseason. In fact, they've only been in the playoffs at the same time one time. That was in 2007. Coach Doug Peterson's team is the 5th to win its division after having the worst record the previous season. and first since Miami did it in 2008. The Jaguars are hosting a postseason game for just the 5th time in franchise history. They're 3-1 in the previous 4 games. In 8 of the past 10 meetings, the winner has scored at least 31 points. So this should be a high-scoring game. What did you say the over-under was in this?
The over-under is 47.
47. I think we're going to get there, Beard. We're going to see how that one goes. We talked about the meaningless game between the Chargers and the Broncos last week. The Chargers ended up starting starters. And I think you could have went out there and started some of the starters. But being that you put a guy in Mike Williams out there who's been pretty much banged up all year long, dealing with the high ankle sprain, he ends up messing up his back. He strained his back. He's going to be out for this game and out indefinitely. So I think that's more of a move why you're probably not going to see Brandon Staley in another playoff game as a head coach. I am semi-rooting for the Chargers. I'll keep it funky with you. The Chargers offense is 8th overall. Their rush defense is really bad. They're ranked 30th right now. Pass defense is ranked 3rd, or pass offense, I'm sorry, is ranked 3rd. Scoring, they're 13th in the league. Austin Eckler, man, we're going to talk about some of these over-unders. I think Austin Eckler's got to be a factor in this game. You got to get him going. He had a pretty bad game last week, but he did come into this game. He led the NFL with 18 scrimmage touchdowns. He had 107 receptions. Last I checked, Austin Eckler was like somewhere around 140 targets on the year. For a running back, that is ridiculous. And he also, his 107 receptions were tied for 5th in the league, and it's a team record. You also got Keenan Allen out there, who a lot of people think this might be a down year for Keenan Allen. But in the last 6 games, he has at least he's had 50 receptions in his last 6 games. So that's major for him. Keenan Allen, I'm hoping to see playoff Keenan one time out here, and he can ball out. I love this Chargers pass attack. I think they can put up a lot of points. The defense is definitely going to be somewhere you need to keep your eyes on. The Chargers were also the first team in league history to have 6 players with at least 500 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Chargers offense had 38 drives this year of 10 plays or more. So they know how to sustain drives. That's 4th in the NFL. Now, Jaguars, we know all about Trevor Lawrence, man. The last couple of months, he's been balling out for sure, man. At age 23, Trevor Lawrence is the youngest quarterback in the postseason. He set a franchise record for completions this year. He also, I thought this was a little bit interesting, 5 turnovers in the past 4 games. You know, he had that stretch there where he wasn't turning the ball over at all. He has 2 interceptions and a couple of fumbles there. Jacksonville was one of 2 NFL teams to have 3 players with 70 or more receptions. Christian Kirk came into this game. A lot of people questioning the contract and whatnot. He had 84 receptions for 1,108 yards. Zay Jones, man, major bright spot for this Jacksonville Jaguars team. Zay Jones had 82 receptions for 823 yards. And our boy, man, New York Giants drafted Mr. Evan Ingram himself, tight end, had 73 receptions for 766 yards. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they fell just short of becoming the 2nd trio in league history to have 3 newcomers, because all these guys got acquired in the offseason, that would top 800 yards receiving. Evan Ingram, if he would have went, had just under 40 more yards, they would have been the 2nd team to have a trio that all new players on a team go over 800 yards. Key matchup for me is going to be Travis Etienne, man. The Chargers have the 28th ranked rush defense. Etienne should be able to ball out in this game. He had 1,125 yards on the ground this year, just 17 last week, though. So we got to figure out a way to get that running game right. The Jaguars were not themselves. I think they were very, very lucky, very, very fortunate to come out of that game last week and, see their way into the playoffs, because that was pretty much a playoff game. So you got the mulligan. That was the mulligan right there last week. You're going to come into this game. You got to step it up. The Chargers defense overall, they're ranked 20th. Rush defense ranked 28th. Pass defense ranked 7th. They're tied for 21st in scoring as a defense. We know about Joey Bosa. Bosa's been balling out, man. He's got 3.5 sacks in 4 games versus the Jaguars. The Jaguars defense, kind of a little iffy with the defense here. They're ranked 24th overall. Their pass defense is 28th. Scoring is 12th. But I think that the Jaguar safety, Rashawn Jenkins, is the guy you got to keep your eye on in this. Twice has delivered in pivotal situations in this team's 5-game winning streak that they've been on. He had the strip sack against the Tennessee Titans on Joshua Dobbs that led to a 37-yard fumble return for Josh Allen last week. And he had the interception that he returned for 52 yards for a touchdown that beat Dallas in overtime last month. And the Chargers actually drafted him. So he's going up against, his former squad and whatnot. I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup. I still don't know where I'm going with this. I'm glad we have these over-unders to kind of go over here just a little bit so I can kind of get a little bit more buffer time. to try to figure out where I'm going to go with the score on this one. But what do you see in this game? How you think this one's going to pan out before we get off of these over-unders here one time?
Now, this is the toughest game. It just is, like, and when I started off the show, I talked about how, there's a storyline in each one of these teams and each one of these games that you as an outside fan can root for. Obviously, like, we're intrigued by the new reign of these young quarterbacks. And you got two of them in this game. So it's like now you kind of have to choose between Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. And, like, I feel like Herbert gets a lot of unnecessary, talk about him and how, he's not as good as
praise, and it's some people kind of not praising him as well. It's kind of
exactly. It's like a lot of people think that he's overrated or, like, yeah, he's good, but what has he done? And it's like, and obviously, like, Joe Burrow has kind of, put the pressure on Herbert and Tua and Jalen Hurts a little bit because of his run in their second year.
Man.
I mean, they're in the playoffs.
And he's not.
Well, this particular game, and they probably won't advance, but we'll save that for another parlay episode, okay? You get the point. the authentic banter on Tua, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Tua. I'm way more sold on my quarterback than I am on Tua. Way more sold.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting debate one of these days in the offseason. But yeah, back to these young quarterbacks, like I want to see Justin Herbert succeed because I think it's good for the game of football, but it's also good for Trevor Lawrence to succeed for the game of football when you see these young quarterbacks because, these are the future quarterbacks right now. Obviously, you're going to start losing the guys who are the dinosaurs, you know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Rodgers is on his way out. Tom Brady is going to be on his way out. So there's this new regime of quarterbacks, obviously led by the unicorn himself. Like we should take a unicorn horn and put it on a goat and use that for Patrick Mahomes.
A unicorn horn. Okay, so like the one-centered horn, and put it on a goat.
Yeah.
But okay, so you think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the GOAT?
I mean, he's a unicorn that could possibly turn into a goat.
Good. He's got to catch up, man. A lot of Super Bowls catch up.
Oh, listen, yeah. There's. I don't know if anybody.
How many Super Bowls you think Patrick Mahomes would need to get to be in that conversation with Tom Brady?
5.
Damn, I was gonna say 5. I was gonna say 3. Tom Brady got kind of lucky too. He was with a great team, but he was the best player on those teams for the most part, except when Randy Moss was out there.
Yeah, definitely was. But I mean, there's a lot of the weapons on here, and obviously the Evan Ingram coming out and having this year on a 1-year deal. Now he's probably going to get himself a contract in the offseason. Obviously, big shout out to Christian Kirk. You talked about it. A lot of people gave the Jaguars a lot of crap for that contract that they gave Christian Kirk, but it turned out to be good. And I mean, obviously, Doug Peterson. I think that might be the difference here. Doug Peterson coaching difference. That might be the difference for me. I think this game's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. Okay? And how many stupid mistakes the Chargers make on the coaching staff. Because they've been known to do some.
Say maybe on the field with the Jaguars, too, because that was their biggest problems against the Titans there when they were trying to clinch the division. It was offensively the mistakes, the pitch that Trevor Lawrence tried to, look all cute on and whatnot, tried to no-look it and whatnot. The ball goes flying over his running back's head or whatever. So it's tough. I feel you. It could be the coaching mistakes on one end, and it could be the mistakes on the field on the other end. I think that's what makes this game a difficult matchup as well to kind of gauge.
It does. It definitely does. And I mean, obviously Vegas thinks so as well, that line sitting at 1.5. But it's. I'm excited for this game. I don't think it's going to disappoint us. I think we're going to see a lot of scoring in this matchup, and you provided some really interesting numbers, especially with that 31-point total. Going on there. Like there's a lot of things that can happen in this game, and there's a lot of electric players. Obviously, it really sucks to not have Mike Williams because you've seen the difference in Justin Herbert's games when he has Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and when he doesn't have both of them or doesn't only has one of them. It's a big difference. It's night and day almost between those sort of situations. But I think I'm going to wait and see where I go with the over-unders to kind of sway me. But I don't know. There is no over-under for Doug Peterson, unfortunately. So we'll see how much that weighs in my decision. People was hating on Doug Peterson,
man, when they put in Nate Sudfeld against Washington and whatnot. I try to tell people, sometimes you got to look at a situation just with complete logic. There's no way Doug Peterson's going to go for 2 in the middle of the third quarter out of nowhere with Jalen Hurts, and then they start this kid, Nate Sudfeld, in the fourth quarter. It lets you know right there that wasn't his decision. People gave him a bunch of shit in the offseason about it. They blamed him for it. He's a horrible coach, blah, blah, blah. And actually, and I can say that I'm guilty of this as well, too, we started giving Frank Reich more flowers than we gave to Doug Peterson for winning the Super Bowl. I think a lot of us was wrong in that, and Doug Peterson showed you that the Jacksonville Jaguars literally went from having the worst coach in the history of the NFL since I've been alive. I never seen a coach, and we had Joe Judge over here. Rest in peace to his head coaching career. Urban Meyer is probably the worst head coach since 1983, since I was born. I've never seen coaching that bad.
It was pretty bad, and I thought he was going to be good. I did.
I didn't see it. I never said nothing about that dude. I had no idea. I was just like, I'll see when the results present themselves, I'll have an opinion on it then.
I mean, I had an all-you-can-eat crow buffet on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Urban Meyer. So
yeah, that man was terrible, and it seemed like he really didn't care, bro.
I mean, it was bad. The dude was out of the bar with his hands in the butts and everything like that. I mean,
what was it? What was it?
He got caught at the bar with the girl and his hand in the butt.
Even me, I've known this guy for like 30-something years. Them Timisms, sometimes I don't catch on them too. He in the bar, I couldn't make that one out.
Nathaniel Hackett was pretty damn bad this year.
Nathaniel Hackett was pretty bad. I don't know if he's Urban Meyer bad. Urban Meyer had talent over there. He was just like, James Robinson, I'm not giving you the ball. Like, he was. What was the situation with the kicker during the warm-ups that he did?
I don't
It was something crazy. Like, man, you better not be missing no more. Like, something crazy. It was something real crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Urban Meyer was awful, and the way that it looked. Like, you remember when Jay Gruden was at the bar looking all crazy? This was like that times 10. This looked horrible, and it was just like, so that Urban Meyer's vibes was kind of like, I don't care.
Yeah, I was
He
on
didn't
my
know
off
who
day.
Myles Garrett was. He did not know who Myles Garrett was when they were game planning against Myles Garrett and the Browns. He did not know who he was. Come on, dog. Come on, dog.
Y'all are having a feat. They say kick the kicker.
That's what it was, yeah. And the kicker came out later and said it. Like, he was in the warm-ups, and Urban Meyer just pulled up behind him and just kicked him as he was, like, getting ready to take a kick and was like, man, don't be missing no kicks in the game or something like that. Literally kicked him. Like, dog, I might – see, they're young. They're younger. That's the thing. We can't forget that these players, although they be looking like they're just, like, completely grown men, sometimes these dudes is in their early 20s. But, dog, you do that to somebody who's 35 years old, yo, you throwing hands on site.
Oh, yeah. No. He thought he was in college still.
Yeah, that's what he thought. And he was treating them like boys instead of treating them like men, which is awful. And they talked about the lack of preparation for games. It's good to see that Trevor Lawrence's career, wasn't completely derailed, because people were starting to look at Trevor Lawrence sideways like, yo, this kid might be a bust.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I had this debate the other night. Trevor Lawrence or Mac Jones? Who's the better quarterback?
Trevor Lawrence right now.
Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody was trying to debate me.
Why were you having that debate?
Because it was a card situation where I was explaining how, because, people were going crazy for Mac Jones cards, during his rookie year into this season. And, Trevor Lawrence was the number one pick. So his card value dropped drastically, right? And so, I was having a debate, and I was telling people that I never bought into the Mac Jones hype because I didn't see the level of talent that I saw in Trevor Lawrence. And for me, it's easy to get caught in the hype of a rookie quarterback And then, I said, well, if I put a one-of-one autographed rookie card of Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence on the table, which one are you taking? And he said, I'm taking Mac Jones. I said, but why? He said, Mac Jones is the better quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is the better athlete. I said,
that's asinine.
I can't agree with you.
He's just looking at results from the first year. But if you really watch the games with Mac Jones was a system quarterback over there that first year. They really didn't have much wide receiver talent either. And they were just set up. They were set up behind the run. Almost any quarterback can perform in the NFL when you got a good running game behind you.
And I mean, listen, right here, I love you guys, but there's no way I can. I have to take Trevor Lawrence over Daniel Jones.
It's too early. It's too early, I think.
Yeah.
I need to see more from Trevor Lawrence. Because here's my thing is, and I was talking to some folks about this in the chat. Peterson went over there and he got Lawrence looking good. To me, that don't mean that it's fixed. It's been 1 year. Brian Dable has Daniel Jones looking good in the system right now.
Been 1 year.
It's 1 year. To me, it doesn't mean that it's completely fixed. So you have to prove that you can do this year in and year out. When you look at these quarterbacks, like, a lot of Giants fans, they're like running victory laps about the whole Russell Wilson situation. Like, look at him, he sucks now, right? But to perform at the level that Russell Wilson performed at for 8 straight seasons without losing, that's consistency right there. Neither one of these quarterbacks have shown that they're consistently good quarterbacks. This year, they both look a lot better. They both look really good. They both look like they're on the up and up right now, and they could be quarterbacks in this league for a long time to come and should be able to win some playoff games, both of them. We'll see, though. I think it's too early for that one. It's really too early to say the one for Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. If you heard my answer when you first asked, I said Trevor Lawrence right now.
Yeah.
And I think showing that. And the skill set, you got to look at the skill set, too.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones versus Trevor Lawrence, the skill set is similar, I think.
Similar.
They both got pretty damn good arms. They both can kind of run it. They're both pretty mobile. They do a lot of the same things. When you look at Mac Jones, he's very restricted when it comes to the pocket, maneuver in the pocket, trying to run, extend the play, buy time. He can't do those things. He don't got a big arm. He's pretty accurate, I would say, but he reminds me of homie that came out of Marshall that played for the Jets, Chad Pennington. That's what he kind of reminds me of. Post-injury for Chad Pennington as well.
And see, you have to do what I think Burrow has done. And I think that's why Burrow has kind of solidified himself, because he's done this now 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
After an injury, and no Super Bowl hangover. So I think you definitely got to put together some years for sure.
Burrow's got some time for me too. Burrow has proven that he's a good quarterback already, right? 3 years he's been pretty damn good. For me, it's when you want to put him in that elite category. That I think we need another year possibly. I want to see what he does in this playoff run. I think Joe got that moxie, too. He got that confidence where it's like, I'm going to beat your team. And the other 2 quarterbacks, I don't know if they quite have that just yet.
Yeah, it was interesting. They asked Joe Burrow in the press conference, they said, how little or how small do you think the window is, for you guys to win a Super Bowl here, like 1 or 2 years? And Joe Burrow responded by saying, the window is going to be open for forever. As long as I'm the quarterback and I'm here and I'm playing.
That's good moxie to have, right?
He said the window's open.
Look at their combination of weapons that they have over there. If they can keep that together with Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, every one of them is under 26 years old. So to say 2 years, that's foolish. You got to if they can keep that core together on that offense, they're going to have a shot to win a Super Bowl at all times.
Yeah, and right now Joe Burrow appears to be Patrick Mahomes' kryptonite. So we shall see.
The Bengals.
All right, let's get into some over and unders for the Chargers at Jaguars. Who we got first? Authentic. Speaking of young quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, over or under 279.5 passing yards. Let us know in the chat if you guys think he's going to go over or under that mark.
Passing yards, man.
So, Justin Herbert on the season is averaging just under that at 278.8 passing yards per game. He has gone over that mark 7 of 10 times. Against Jacksonville, he went over that mark, and he's gone over that mark 4 of his last 6 games. Jacksonville also allows only 238 yards passing per game, and they've only allowed one quarterback in the last 6 games to go over 279.5 passing yards. There is a lot of action going on in the chat right now. Authentic, where are you at with 279.5 passing yards for Justin Herbert?
That's a lot of passing yards, man. I kind of wanted to buy a little bit more time to see what the chat was talking, to be honest.
All right, we'll let you buy some time, and while you do that, I will go through the early answers in the chat. Carl going under on Justin Herbert's passing yards. Kai001 is also going to take the under 279.5. Gregory is dropping the over on 279.5. That is a lot of passing yards when you think about it. The freaking Rican is taking the under on the Justin Herbert passing total.
What's that right there?
I thought it was James Brown at first, but
Headline drop. I can't really see it. That don't look fire though.
Abatarde.
Building.
Ligma is taking the under. The freaking Rican says he's taking under 279.5, but he will make his own line at 225 and take the over on that. Okay. OG Knockout taking the over on 279.5. The Saturday Flight is taking the over as well. My Irish brother taking the over 279.5.
Like
Bubs taking the over, said he's going to have to sling it. And our guy, Lalo, shout out to Lalo, Mr. HD, taking the over on a 279.5. And last but not least, Stephen White is taking the over. All right, you've had some time to simmer.
I'm glad I got a little bit from the chat there. Got a chance to revisit some of these notes. Jaguars' pass defense is 28th in the NFL. I'm taking the over, man.
I just think it's going to be a shootout.
So take the over.
Taking the over. I'm taking the over. Because it just... Jacksonville, 238. They've only allowed one quarterback in the last 6, but then I start thinking about it. Who does they played in the last 6?
Who was it?
They played Dobbs.
Titans with Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, a couple of times. Houston.
Oh, man. With your boy Davis Mills over there.
Yeah. We're going to take the over. We're going to take the over.
Week 13, week 14 last week, and Davis Mills had more touchdowns than Daniel Jones. It was hurting my heart, dog. Like, how does this kid have more touchdowns than my quarterback?
Davis Mills, he deserves better than what he has been.
So does Taylor Heineke.
No, let's not.
That's where you bias right there. You said no. Y'all be in the playoffs right now if you started Taylor Heineke.
Oh, see, here we go. We're not having this conversation. We are not having that question.
I should put a poll in the chat.
That's hypothetical, man.
Yeah, it's hypothetical. Y'all be in the playoffs right now if you just stuck it out with your boy Taylor Heineke.
All right. So let's move.
Might have had an over-under graphic like this with him sitting over that W.
Yeah, but it would have been, if I would have been in charge, it'd have been over or under 2 Taylor Heineke turnovers. All right, we're gonna move on to the guy who is technically a running back, but according to Authentic, he is not necessarily a running back. What do we have up for Austin Eckler?
Why you got that Eckler?
Shout out to the graphics department because these are not templates, by the way. Don't get it twisted like the Beard.
The Beard's like, we're just going to go in here and put it in a template, right? Like it was Canva or some shit.
The over-under for Austin Eckler, this seems a little interesting. 89.5 scrimmage yards, okay? Austin Eckler has gone over 89.5 scrimmage yards in 3 of his last 6 games. On the season, he is averaging 96.3 total scrimmage yards. But in the matchup against Jacksonville earlier this season, he only had 53 total scrimmage yards. Now, we talked about how
you know exactly what I'm laughing at in the chat.
NYB.
Shout out NYB one time in the chat, yo.
Listen, okay. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this, ladies and gentlemen. But Eckler has to have a big game. You said it. I said it. We have to believe it. So I think 89.5 seems.
Mm.
The question is the rushing, because he's had a couple of really bad rushing games as of late. And I feel like that's what worries me a little bit. But I think if we honestly believe that this is going to be a shootout sort of game, we think it's going to go over the 47 total points. We got to think that, Austin Eckler goes over on the, 89.5. Because for me, I'm thinking he gets around 40 rushing yards. And I think if he can get 40 rushing yards, he's going to hit the over, 50 on receiving, which is going to put him at, 90 at least. So I'm going to take the over 89.5 scrimmage yards on Austin Eckler for this matchup today.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm taking the over. Jaguars defense, man, they're bad against the rush. They're bad against the pass. I think he's going to have success. I'd even 110 total.
110.
Yeah.
110.
And y'all see where I'm going with these over-unders. I think you kind of see where I'm going with my prediction here as well.
Oh, man. Rozelle says
uniforms, fire.
The powder, the dark blue ones.
Yeah, not the powder. The powder blue is like, yeah, that's kind of soft. But this is what I want the Giants to do right here, man. All blue.
All blue. Rozelle's taking the under 89.5 on Austin Eckler. Ligma is taking the over easy like your breakfast morning eggs. The freaking Ricans is taking the under, but over on receiving. It's going to be an interesting one right there. That's the one that kind of worries me a little bit. Stephen White. There's no pushes.
You can't get 89.5. I there's something about that I don't like. I like the flat number because then you can take the push on some of them. This whole 89.5 thing, I mean, it's just force. Just come on. It's just forcing you. You'll be right there on that button at 89.
What do you think? What's the over under on it landing on 89?
I don't know, man. It's probably not going to land on 89. It'd be nice to at least have the option to get the push one time or two.
The Saturday flight is taking the over. Let's see what else we got. K001 is going to take the over as well. Carl Wilkinson.
That was the best point of all the ones I saw in the chat. Right
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, you're going to rely on him even more.
And that also, I think is going to set up for a big game for either Joshua Palmer or DeAndre Carter. One of those two guys is going to have to step up. Or maybe you see a little bit more action to the tight end, Gerald Everett. It's going to be interesting to see who steps up in the absence of Mike Williams. To me, that is just like the stupidest thing in the world. I can't believe that has happened. They should have never.
What has happened? Him getting hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just came back from an injury like 2 weeks ago. Just didn't make any sense. Carl Wilkinson is going to take the under. Gregory is going to take the over. Irish Rover with the over. We're going to call you Irish Over. He says 98 total yards. Lalo says clearly over. It's Eckler. Bubs is giving us the over as well.
Yeah, I like the over.
All right. Speaking of wide receivers, what we got in the mix for the next one? This next one is quite interesting. It is very tasty. It is Keenan Allen over under 6.5 receptions. We already talked about how he's been balling out as of late since returning to the lineup. He has gone over 6.5 receptions in 4 of his last 6. 4 out of 10 times this season that he has played, he has gone over 6.5. But in his earlier season matchup against Jacksonville, he failed to go over 6.5 receptions. Now, no Mike Williams. I think this is a slam dunk. The only thing that could worry me a little bit is if they kind of key in on Keenan Allen. But I feel like Keenan Allen's the type of guy who's going to get you like a reception in every portion of the field. He's going to get you one in the middle. He's going to get you on a screen. He might get you on a little bit of an intermediate to deep route. I just feel like since he's come back, like he is Justin Herbert's guy. And I'm sure he's probably, what were the target numbers he's had over the last couple of weeks? It was something crazy, right? Or is that the reception? You said 50 total receptions since he's returned,
50,
right?
50 total receptions since his return. And he's definitely getting volume. 8 catches last game against the Broncos. He had 11 receptions against the Colts. He had 8 against the Titans, 12 against the Dolphins. He's been balling out 2 100-yard games in his last 4. He's been doing it. I mean, he is that guy. The thing with Keenan Allen is staying healthy. Every year, that's been his problem.
Yeah. Oh, and that would be brutal. Hopefully you don't see any sort of injuries, obviously, to any of these players in this game. But I'm gonna have to take the over. To me, it seems like a slam dunk given the situation that Mike Williams is not playing. You looking a little?
I'm a little bit in, but I do think the Chargers are going to control this game, especially behind the quarterback, man. So it's going to be his guy. I'll take the over in this one as well.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll buy it at 6 for us, and we'll take the over just in case we want to push. You feel comfortable with that?
Yeah.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see if we can buy a half a reception on the parlay, and let's see what everybody in the chat is talking about. We got Carl Wilkinson taking the over on the Keenan Allen reception, 6.5. This Saturday Flight is also taking the over. We got Gregory taking the over. The freaking Rican is also taking the over. My guy Lalo says way over. He might have 11 to 12 catches against Jacksonville's corners. We got Bubs.
That's the statement that's going to stand out to me after I watch this game tonight.
We got Bubs taking the over. Ligma's taking the over. Irish Rover with the over all day long. The freaking Rican says he is a beast. And Irish Rover wants him on the Giants. COD001 is taking the over. And Stephen White is taking the over. Crypto Moves says, Awthentik and The Beard, what are you guys doing for the game? Got invited to a non-Giants fan's house, but might have to watch the game alone. Too hype.
I've been thinking about that same thing. Like, I got a couple options on the table right now, but I'm kind of like, man, this might be one of the games where I just stay right here in the lab and just soak this game up just all alone because the emotions are going to be riding high. The Beard knows, he used to live with me for a while, how it gets, especially in critical crunch time games like this. So might have to do this one straight solo. We'll see.
And OG Knockout is going to close us out on the over-unders. Keenan Allen, he is going to take the over 6.5 receptions.
I like it.
All right, time to go into the world of sunshine.
I told you we was already in the world of sunshine, man. Justin Herbert about to take that title today.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this sunshine.
That's more like Alaska polar bear.
Darkness. All right, Trevor Lawrence is next up on the docket, and we are going to take a look at the Trevor Lawrence. This is significantly lower than the Justin Herbert over-under. We got Trevor Lawrence on the over-under of 245.5 passing yards. Trevor Lawrence is averaging 241.9 passing yards per game. He has only gone over 245.5 twice in the last 6 games, but he did go over versus the Chargers earlier this season. Now, the Los Angeles Chargers are only allowing 200.4 yards passing per game. So this is a little dicey here. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. I think he gets very, I mean, it's going to be close. I think he's going to be in there right around 240. I think he gets right around 240. That's where I'm going to be at for Trevor Lawrence in this game.
I'm taking the under as well, man.
I'm scared, though. I mean, there's a chance he goes for 280, right?
Any one of these quarterbacks has got a chance to do that. Could light it up. You got Daniel Jones going for 280.
I do. Well, if you guys, in order to follow the roadmap and win. Those are going to be some interesting over-unders for tomorrow, for sure.
Yeah, they have 280 combined. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so...
yeah. Glaze over that.
All right, we're going to see who's going to, what the chat thinks. We got Gregory taking the over. We got the Saturday Flight taking the under. COD001 taking the over. Eddie Nash is taking the over on the beat, says it goes so hard. Carl Wilkinson is taking the over. This one's kind of splitting the room a little bit. Sergeant Mayhem's taking the under. Kai says the over by 1 yard. The Freakin' Rican says just go ahead and take the over on 225 and you should be safe. And Irish Over is taking the over. Gunslinger game.
Facts.
So we shall see. This one's going to be a little interesting. Awthentik and The Beard so far in the Jacksonville and Chargers game have no disagreements. No, we are all on the same page. So let's move on to the next guy, the guy that's going to play a very big role, I think, in this game, Mr. Travis Etienne. Over under 97.5 scrimmage yards. He's averaging 84.8, so that's kind of significantly lower than that 97.5. But he does have the ability for a big play. We have seen it before this season. He has gone over 97.5 total scrimmage yards in 3 of the last 6 games, but going up against the Chargers earlier this season, he failed to get over that total. And let's not forget the Los Angeles Chargers are giving up 145.8 yards rushing per a game. So to me, I feel like ETN can get to about 80 yards on the ground, right? So that means he would only need 18 yards receiving. That's what, 4 catches?
If that.
I'm going to take the over. I'm a little sketchy. I'm going to take the over. Travis Etienne, 97.5 scrimmage yards. This one is one of the tougher ones for me because I worry about him because his inconsistency in one aspect of this equation has presented itself on more than one occasion. With McCaffrey and Eckler, there's more of a balance between the rushing and the receiving. With ETN, he either has a really big rushing game or a really big receiving game, and the other one can be kind of disappear. So that's what kind of worries me a little bit is the consistency in the balance between his rushing and receiving yards. But let's go ahead and take a quick look in the chat really fast. Stephen White is taking the over. There's a lot of over. OG Knockout with the over. Carl Wilkinson with the over. Gregory is going to be the first under in the chat right now. D Saturday White is taking the over. OG Knockout with the over. Lalo says depends on the game script, which could be very interesting to say the least. And Sergeant Mayhem is taking the over. And hold the presses. Irish Over has decided to take the under. Says his rushing yards would get him there. Think it's going to be a close one too, Lalo. Where are we at, Awthentik? What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be kind of close, but like you said, it's hit or miss with him. So I'm going to go with the under. This will be the first one we disagree in. I'm going with my gut and who I think is going to win this game and who's going to control this game. And they haven't, the Jaguars have not shown that they can commit to the run on a consistent basis. That's one of the biggest things. He had 7 carries last game. 2 targets, too. He only had 2 targets in that game. He was coming off a 100-yard game against the Houston Texans, but anybody that's been watching football knows exactly what's been going on with
I
the
could
Houston
go
Texans.
for 100 yards against the Texans, so. Hey, little faith in the beard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You need somebody to write the white lines on the field. I think you could be the guy that's doing the sideline. You could go for 100 yards easy, right?
You see how you had that one planned out. You see how Awthentik had that one planned out. Because it was kind of shocking that you believed in the Beard's, over 30 athletic ability at this point. But
we got a good year and change before we got to hit that over 40.
Listen,
I got about a couple months.
Did you see the pictures of there's a football league called the RIFL or something like that, the RFL, and they were doing tryouts, right? They were
Yeah.
doing tryouts, and apparently, this is like a legitimate league, but you have to pay to try out. But if you make it to the draft, then you get paid, and then you get paid based upon how you perform during the season. And they had a tryout here in DC, and there's a picture of the 3 guys that made it from the DC tryout to be in the draft. And it is a field day in the comments.
I did not see that. You said the RIFL?
It's either like the RIFL or the RRFL.
Rhode Island Avenue Football League.
Bruh.
What kind of league is this you're talking about here, bro?
It's like a semi-pro league.
Yeah.
I am going to send it to you, and you
Please
are
do,
going.
please do.
It is it looks like the longest yard sort of situation. Like it
What are the
is.
stipulations of this league? It's just, are they OGs?
They definitely look like OGs for sure, but there are no stipulations. But it is a very interesting trio of dudes that made it. Like one of the dudes definitely looks like he just got out of lockout. But one of the dudes looks like he was a security guard in Dead Presidents in 1970.
Okay.
And the other guy, you can't tell if he's 18 or if he's 39.
They're like that 12-year-old running back that was
Yeah.
going around for a while.
Yes.
That dude looked like he
Very,
was 30.
very much true. So that's definitely something that I'm going to have to find and send to you. Kai 001, the over-under on the Beard's 40 time last we checked was a 4.6. 4.62.
You remember the last time we checked, right? He had a NA for the 40 time because he didn't finish. He saw me and the homie get off the line. He was like, "Oh, nah."
Hamstring got a little tight, you know.
But listen, you know what we got to do when we do Authentic versus Beard, and you think this might be crazy. I might be able to beat you in a race backpedaling.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
I was about ready to be a man and say Authentic is faster than me, and then you had to turn
around and say I'm faster than you, bro. Come on now, you know that.
I mean, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. I know you're faster.
If Benny's still in the chat, when we was in Miami, Serge was talking smoke about racing me, right? And my cousin Serge used to play ball. He did have a patella injury, right? But now he's been working out. He's a personal trainer now. He was like, "Man, I'll smoke you in a race." And we raced right down there on South Beach, bro. Smoked that man. Patrick tried to race me. You remember when Patrick tried to race me out front of the Rhode Island crib?
Yes.
He had the problems at the line as well, too. I don't know how. It was like somebody tied Patrick's shoestrings together at the line. Because as soon as Nelson was like, "Go," he fell on his face. I don't even know how it happened. But the Beard, come on now. When we talk about some basketball, the Beard can hoop. He can definitely hoop. Got a nice little inside game, little up and under that he always goes to that seems to always work. But when it comes to racing, yeah, it's especially, man, the way I saw you out there when we was throwing that football around. Bro.
Listen, I'm more of an in-game speed, okay?
Oh, that's a damn lie.
I play a lot faster than I race.
All right, rate yourself in Madden right now, 3 categories: speed, acceleration, hands, those 3.
Okay, so speed. Now, am I playing the tight end position or am I playing the wide receiver position? Okay, so speed, I'd probably give the Beard in a Madden like a 83.
Okay, generous. All right, that's super generous, bro.
And then what was the other one? Acceleration.
Acceleration.
So that's like off the line. Like, yeah,
how fast you could get to your top speed.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna give myself 89 acceleration.
Whoa, my God, these are
and then
extreme.
hands. I'm at like a 96. All
right, so that was crazy right there. First of all, I'm gonna go speed. You about a I don't want to do you too dirty. I'm gonna say you're about a 70.
That's like an offensive lineman, though.
Yeah, the offensive linemen are faster than you at this point.
I'm not in the NFL though.
I'm talking about I'm talking about in our age bracket, right? At this point, let's say we get Fats, right, and you race him. How much do you think you're gonna beat him by a lot?
10 yards?
No, hell no. You know that's not true. Hands, I'll give you a 80. I'll give you 87 on the hands. I get 87 on the hands.
The disrespect.
70, and then acceleration, dog. That's where you struggling. You a 63 on the acceleration.
Oh my God.
I gotta keep it funky with you, dog. I gotta keep it funky, dog.
This is not
overall
this is,
Madden rating. You about a good 70, 73.
I am definitely. I'm 84. Hold it down for the year I was born. 84 overall Madden rating for the beard. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So in the offseason, can you guarantee our family in the chat that we could do an authentic versus the beard type combine type thing?
All right, wait.
We supposed to do that back 2019,
Yes.
2020. We never got
Things
around to
have
it.
definitely changed since then.
You said 4.6 something 40 just now.
4.64 probably is what I'm running a 40 in.
I'm gonna say you should start to eliminate the 4. Just go 6.4 something 40.
You don't think I could run a under 540?
1000% not. I would put everything I own that you cannot run a 40 under 5 seconds. Literally, you could have all the shit I have in my basement will be yours.
Authentic. You really don't think I can run a under 540?
I will spit up my damn drink the way you're talking. I'm dead serious, bro. There's no, I could probably barely run. Like right now, off the line, 140, I'm probably going to be right under that 5. There's no way in hell you run under a 5-second 40. No way in hell. We could do this, bro. We could do this. You want to do this for the playoffs?
No, because listen, if we're going to do this, I got to do it. Like the hamstrings have not, like I got to get a couple of days of jogging, some slow runs, work it up a little bit.
I'll give you a good 2 weeks from today.
Spring, first day of spring.
The chat.
Big shout out to the freaking Rican for the $5 super chat. Says shout out from the boogie. So what do you guys think ultimately, Giants or Minnesota? You're going to have to tune in tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic and the Beard will be here for that.
I'm feeling good. I will give you that. I haven't seen a freaking Rican in the chat too much. I don't recognize this name, so big shout out to you. Welcome to the family. We definitely appreciate that super chat. That means a lot. Helps us upgrade what we're doing over here on the channel. So I'll give you a little bit on it. I'm feeling good about it. I feel good about the Giants in this game. It should be a really good matchup. A lot of adjustments. I would expect a lot of adjustments. I think the Giants are going to run the ball a lot more in this matchup.
I also have some confidence in the New York Football Giants, but I don't want to give too many flowers too early. But we definitely appreciate the freaking Rican in the building. Shout out from the boogie. We appreciate you joining us today. And welcome to the Authentic and the Beard family. That's what we are right here. And big shout out to Carl, who is letting people know that I'm pretty fast. Thank you. We appreciate that. Big shout out to our guy. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets is in the building. How you doing, buddy? They said the modern day Jason Witten. I was more like a Rob Gronkowski.
I was going to say more like a Rich Eisen.
You know what, man?
If Rich Eisen breached 6 seconds, though. 5'9", I got you at about a good 5'8". I'm going to say a 5'8".
5'8"?
5'8".
Come on. Authentic, man.
5'8", bro. 5'8", bro. Have you seen you run?
I am an athlete. You're making it seem like I'm an average Joe. This is an average Joe versus the pros, man.
Look, we're both average Joes at this point. But, yeah. Athlete? You think he's still an athlete right now?
Once an athlete, always an athlete.
Athlete. Okay.
Shout out to Kai in the 99 club.
Come on, dog. What the 199 rating I would maybe give you. No, I can't even give you that. I was going to say awareness, but I can't give you that. Last time we played on the football team together, you went across the middle and got concussed in a two-hand touch league. That's not supposed to happen.
That's because I got so high up on the ground. I look like like Tyreek Hill in that picture you posted on Twitter.
So explain this. How did you hit your head getting so high up off the ground? Because you collided.
On the way down.
On the way, he was like, let me think about this real quick. On the way down. So wait, you didn't give me an answer though. Are we going to do this or not?
Yeah, we have to for the people now. I mean, it's already,
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
some
I'm gonna
people said we
say.
should do it for the draft.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I'm gonna say I could run a 4. I'm gonna say I'll run a 4.59 right now. One go.
I'm 6 feet, 6'1".
Yeah, probably about 6 feet. Yep, both of us. I'm like 6 foot, pushing 6'1".
I'm a little bit heavier though than Awthentik.
Yeah, facts. Boy, light on his feet too. You know, people that run like this really fast. When you got the
That's
hands
what I'm
like
saying.
this. Oh man, that's how he going. Y'all just got a preview what it's gonna look like.
4.999. What's the time? What's the time? 4.99999.
Be like he's still running. For you, I think if you could beat Rich Eisen's time, it's a win for you. It's a win for you right there. He did it in a suit.
The big difference is the beard since the last time, you know. That's why we gotta be prepared, bookends.
Hold on, you can't just say that and not explain yourself. The beard does what?
The aerodynamics.
That should give you them Teen Wolf vibes, man. Michael J. Fox, when he turned into Teen Wolf, he was a different animal. He was a guy. He was a goat on that basketball court.
It's because he had werewolf powers. All right. We got one more over under.
Michael Knight said, I'm 6'2" and I can't even run no more. Yeah, OG knockout, I'm gonna make sure we see it, yo. Y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, this stopwatch. You look up, he's still running. You look back down, he's still running. Last time he was talking big smack. We went out there and it was on some beautiful grass out there at McKinley Tech. The grass was beautiful out there. Man, that man got about 6. I don't even think he got 6 steps. He probably had about 4 steps and was like, oh nah, how I'm supposed to keep running? I got 2 of these dudes ahead of me 20 yards already.
See, that's the thing is I gotta run the 40 against myself.
Right. You don't want that intimidation.
Nah, I can't have that. Because, you know, big shout out to Crypto Moves 420. There's not 420, it's just Crypto Moves. But for the 420 super chat, says beer runs so fast his beer will catch fire.
I can't wait till y'all see this, yo.
Y'all are having so much.
Can't wait till y'all see this. Y'all gonna be like, yo, this man, I can't even fry him too much right now. I'm reserving the fry right now. Y'all have no idea.
I can't wait till we see like it's gonna be like we're gonna have the Washington logo down there, and then it's gonna be a picture of the beard, and then it's gonna say the beard, and it's gonna say over under 40-yard dash time 5.0.
No, I'm 6. We're gonna set the bar at 6 to make things nice and easy for you to try to win. We want you to win. Come on, man. I just want to see you win. I don't want to see you 5. You're not getting there.
There's nobody there's nobody that thinks that I'm not gonna run at least a 6 though.
First try, you ain't getting 6.
What do you think I'm gonna run like a 7 40-yard dash?
Nah, you'll be in that 6 to 7 range. Be in that 6.2, 6.1. Just over 6. I'm telling you.
What do you think the slowest 40 time is in the NFL?
Probably something like that. Like, yo, dog, like let me just look up a few people real quick. Because Eli Manning is a lot faster than Eli Manning's 40 time. After training for it at the combine, he ran a 4.92. I will make a lifetime bet with you. You will never run under a 5-second 40.
I mean, I have in my life.
Nah.
I mean, it was about 20 years ago.
Nah, I ain't going for that.
Dog, when I was in high school, I got clocked.
I'm not going for that. I'm just as old as you. I do remember us in high school, Coach Ashwell. Yeah, nah, bro. 5 seconds. You your whole entire life. If you could run under a 5-second 40, I got 500 for you.
I really, I think I could do it. I got faith.
I got faith in you too, man. You know that. It's left side, strong side forever. That's why you're the strong side. You're not the fast side.
Man, y'all are having a field day right now. All right, up next, this guy could probably beat me in a 40-yard dash, is going to be Zay Jones.
Yo, Word said he got another 100. So you got 600. If you could get under, man, you better start training, dog. You better get that 600, dog.
Crypto move. The squats help for the 40 time?
Got to do squats. Got to do squats, man. Get them hammies right, bro.
That's what it is. It's all on the hamstring. The
you
hamstrings
some of them,
and the knees.
joints
Shout out to
called
Kai 001. Back to
strength
beard.
shoes. Strength shoes. Kai, I'm telling you, dog. Once you're going to see him come off the line, and he's going to take 2 steps, and you're going to be like, God damn it, why did I put my money on the beard? I'm telling you.
I just gotta get the knees. The knees and the hamstrings will be all right, and I'll be good. And the heart too. I gotta make sure my heart's okay before I go out there. I don't want to fall before I get to the 40-yard line. You know what I'm saying? But because this is the thing is I got good running technique. You know what I'm saying? Like
God,
I could.
Why are you lying to these people? These are good citizens of America, bro. Why are you lying to them? Why are you lying to them?
Citizens of America. Shout out to Tudo, Yam, and Lucas. Shout out to the freaking Rican for the $5 super chat. Just got the bookies in the chat taking bets. The over-under is 5.5.
5.5's a good over-under. That's a good spot right there. It's a good spot. Look, I'll even give you the little beta test. We won't tell nobody. I promise you I won't. My eyes say I'm lying, right? But I promise you I won't pull up to the stream and tell everybody. But we could do a little beta test to just see where we stand to then set that over-under. But 5.5, look, man, I might struggle right now getting to that 5.5.
The blacktop ain't it. The blacktop ain't it for the knees. It's too. It don't work well for the knees.
This guy acting like he playing a cold career basketball on a blacktop. I'm talking about 140.
Nah. Because I might run so fast that I run out of my shoes, and I'd rather break the 5.5 mark falling in grass than on concrete. You know what I'm saying?
So Eli Manning 4.92, dog.
We have Zay Jones here at over under 49.5 receiving yards for this game. Zay Jones in his last 3 has failed to go over 49.5. In his last 6, he's only gone over 49.5 2 times. He has gone over 49.5 receiving yards 7 times all year. And on the season, he averages 51.4 yards per game. I was kind of shocked at all of those numbers. I thought it would be a lot more higher than that. This is going to be tough.
He's had 3 straight kind of games too, man.
Yeah. But and the Chargers pass defense is a lot better than their run defense.
Yeah. Seventh ranked pass defense.
So
Zay be having them games, man. He just be having them breakout games. 49.5.
He's either at like 40 or like 100.
I'm going to take the under on this one. Kai said, this is you for me, dog.
Big shout out to Danny Thomas for the $5 super chat. Said, just subscribe. Giants fan that lives in the Bay Area. Let's get that win in Minnesota. Danny Thomas, welcome to the Awthentik and The Beard family. We appreciate you very, very much. Make sure you join us tomorrow at 11 o'clock as we talk about your New York Football Giants. But thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the super chat. It means a lot. And more importantly, welcome to the family. As you can see by the way that we are having this friendly beard banter amongst us in the chat, that it is all love here, and we appreciate you guys very, very much.
Big facts. Big salute, man.
Manny Festo says that you're going to need a sundial.
Damn. Let the roasting begin. You thought it was over when
Well, I
y'all
thought it was over when we got eliminated. Here we are. Here we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Wilkinson's taking the over. Gregory's taking the under. And K001 with his Best American Idol says, Zay, it's a U for me, dog. The freaking Rican is taking the under. Sergeant Mayhem is taking the under. Bookend is taking the beard as a road runner. Beep, beep. Carl Wilkinson says just over that is the 55. And Irish over says, again, this will be a passing game. Whew. And you're taking the under?
Take the under. Yeah, I'm going to take the under. Just going off the strength of how I feel this game's going to go. I'm going to take the under on this one.
I got faith in my guy, Zay. I'm going to take the over. Going to take the over.
It's not a bad decision for sure. Just like you said, man, you never know with him, man. He could hit a pot of gold and get 100 yards easy.
Yeah, this is like about, I think this one is about as coin flip as it gets from all the ones that we kind of went over today. I think this is a very interesting one to kind of look back on. But hey, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets. I appreciate you, my guy.
I'm rooting for him too, but he ain't gonna get there. We're not gonna get there. No Mets, no Nets. We're not gonna get there. You want to know the slowest 40 time that was clocked ever?
Slowest for what? For NFL?
For NFL Combine.
6'6" is the slowest one ever?
Yeah, he was 300 pounds.
So I feel good then about myself.
I mean, we got about a good hour and a half for that game start, man. You can pull up, come get this YA tittle, and then, we'll run a quick 40 real quick. See where you stand.
Post office is closed on Monday. Martin Luther King Day.
I bet it is.
Just, let you know.
So no to the 40.
Nah, man, listen. I can't get hurt before the training starts. The draft is a couple months away. This is perfect. I got time to.
Okay. You know all right. So let's set the date now. What day is the draft normally on? Is it on Friday?
It's like a 6-day thing, man. Big shout out to our guy Leroy Blood, Sweat, and Sell for the $2 super chat.
Big shout out.
What's going on, Leroy? So wait, are we doing it for the draft or are we doing it for the combine?
Thursday is the draft. So absolutely cannot happen after the draft.
Okay, so when's the combine though?
Combine is February 26th. Oh, you better get to it, dog.
Nah. Damn, the combine early this year? Nah, listen, there ain't no way we're gonna be able to do it before the combine.
Players will arrive in Indianapolis for the 2023
because I'm still trying to work through
Sunday,
this back
February
injury
26th.
right now. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all hear it, man. Y'all hear all the excuses, man. Shout out to Freaking.
Big shout out to the freaking Rican for the $5 super chat. There's authentic feelings on Evan Ingram.
Love it, man. It's good to see him succeed, man. I was one of them dudes, man. I always root for the players, man. I try to find a reason to root for our players, and even when he was struggling. I just thought Evan Ingram was still a solid player, but you go through those funks, man. Kind of remind me of what Kenny Galladay is going through right now. But Kenny Galladay is kind of in a deeper ditch, I'd say. But it's good to see Evan Ingram going to Jacksonville and balling out this year, man. 70+ receptions. That's dope, man. So, big shout out to Evan Ingram. It's good to see him on a squad, making some impact on an offense here in the NFL, man. He's a very capable player. So, yeah, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I think for me, it's always as a football fan, it's always fun to see people bounce back. I don't think anybody, there are a lot of nasty people out there who root for people to fail, and even more so when they leave a team and go to another team. I'd never want to root for anybody to fail. But, the fact of the matter was it wasn't working in New York, and he was struggling, and it looks like he put in some work in the offseason. He was doing some training with the beard. Got that 40 time down, helped out his hands. So the beard got him right, and now he's in Jacksonville, and he's having himself an absolutely phenomenal year.
Yeah, definitely having a solid year.
So shout out to the training with the beard. It helps. Big shout out to Crypto Moves for the $2 super chat. Usain Beard.
Usain Beard.
1XND in the building. Yeah. Beard bolt. Bolted beard.
I'm so curious to see like where your 40 actually lies. That was like 7 years ago when we ran that 40. Well, when I ran that 40 and you lined up.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help. Listen, when you're a world-class athlete like myself, you know what I'm saying? It comes a time when all that athleticism that you have done and used over the years of athletics, eventually it wears on your body.
I just like just hearing you say those things. I just blanked out. I was just like, that's what it sounded like to me. Just
big shout out to Irish Rover for the $5 super chat. Says I will donate $100 to the channel if the beard runs under 5 seconds.
That's $700 for you. You could train for a whole year, dog. Come back, Awthentik and The Beard. You super swollen in shape. Run a 5. You got $700 for you right there, dog. Easy $700.
Words got me at a 7.3, man. This
7.3.
Isn't a quarter mile, man.
Yo, it's gonna be ugly. I'm gonna get out here and just go run one. I'm gonna run one at least in the next 2 days to see where I stand.
Just make sure you have somebody out there with you just in case anything.
Nah, I'll just film it. You can just film it and put it on the timeline.
No, I'm not talking about the time. I'm just, what I'm saying, just in case, like, something breaks down on the body,
Yo, I'll drag myself home, bro. Straight up, bro. I'll straight drag myself home. The freaking Rican, yo. Shout out, man.
Big shout out to the freaking Rican for the $5 super chat. Says, I will double that.
Double the 100 or the 7? Or the time. I don't know which one he's talking about, right? Could be the time, could be the money, could be the I got 5 on it. Word said he got something on it. Rover got something on it.
Carl says, I can picture the beard running to the Rocky song.
Oh yeah. The screwed up version.
Shout out to Joe Deals. What is the rate of 7-11 points gained to time lost on 40?
You gotta know with that one right there. That's facts though. That is facts right there. It's gonna be fun, man. I'll shoot you a text when I go out there and test it, see where the 40, where I stand at least right now. I'm hoping I can get that 4.6 range. I don't know, man. It's been a while. I haven't ran like for real ran in like at least 3-4 years now. The pandemic had me in this computer chair chilling.
All right. Shout out to everybody in chat. We appreciate all the love and the support here on the 40-yard dash episode. So let's go ahead and pick some winners for these matchups today.
Let's get to it, man. First one here. Start off with this one here. You go
Seattle Seahawks 9-8, San Francisco 13-4.
I didn't want to get to, man.
San Francisco is a 9-point favorite. Over under is 42 points. I'm gonna take San Francisco to win, Seattle to cover, and I'm gonna take the under 42.
Under 42. I like the under 42. I'm going to take the under 42 as well. Oh, man. I got to give at least one upset today. I got to, right? I got to give an upset today.
I mean, you don't have to, bro.
I do, though. I feel it.
Well, I think you're already going to pick an upset by seeding in the next one, right?
I mean, not by line. Chargers.
Not by line. Not by line.
2. I'm leaning towards some Chargers right now. Let me see what the chat's saying. Niners. San Fran. Niners 27-20 in OT. I just don't think they can do it, but I'm going to be rooting for Seattle. I'm doing it, man. I'm taking the Seahawks in an upset, man. Give me the under and the Seahawks in an upset.
You could just take this.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're both taking Seattle +9 in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
It's
you
gonna
do
be
that a lot. You do that cover thing so you could, like, told y'all, man, it's going to, give you a couple little outs. I had half it, right? Yeah, I'm going all out. Seattle with the upset. Big upset.
Shout out to the editing department. Be on it because
All
we're
right.
gonna need some.
Don't be too ready. I just want to root for the Seahawks, man. Keeping it funky with you.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Now this next game though, I'm still not there. It's gonna be a last second decision here. Los Angeles Chargers. They're 10-7. They are 1.5 point favorites. They are headed to Jacksonville, who is 9-8. The over/under is 47. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What you got, Awthentik?
I'm going Chargers, man. This is gonna be a battle of quarterbacks for sure. Defenses ain't that great. Pass defenses, a little iffy. Chargers a little bit better there, obviously. Give me the Chargers, man. I'm gonna take the over. I think the Chargers cover.
I want to take the Chargers. I really do.
Don't say that. Why you that's just a statement because you're a Jaguars fan, bro.
I know that, and I was going to be my next line.
Against your team
was that I have been riding with the Jaguars all season long.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a Jags fan.
So it's only right that
Texans
I continue
fan,
the trend.
Bengals
Jacksonville and Cincinnati in the AFC Championship.
Wait, can I ask you something real quick? So, have you put all the Washington gear to bed for the rest of the season as far as on the show?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I mean, it's playoffs, man. I thought you would have showed up, rocking some burgundy and gold today.
Listen, that's Sunday. Saturday is Notre Dame.
Okay, just making sure.
I just haven't decided if I'm gonna wear the jersey anymore or if I'm gonna go to
I think I'll put the jersey to Brett. The jersey guy.
Except for Super Bowl Sunday.
Teams in the playoffs. Even Super Bowl Sunday. You bring the jersey back out for the Pro Bowl. It's flags this year, they said.
Yeah, man.
You like that?
No, they should just do skill competition.
Yeah, I think they should do something like that too.
Pro Bowl versus the Beard.
Wait, now I don't agree.
We'll put the Beard out there, against the Pro Bowlers.
Jones versus the pros.
And then we'll do the little passing drill. We'll do drug drills. You know what I'm saying?
I'd love to see kind of like how they do NBA All-Star Weekend type vibes. Who could throw it the farthest, most one-handed catches type of stuff, target kind of drills, stuff like that.
Stephen Arce, yes, we did. Awthentik hooked me up with the information.
I sent it to you. We was just talking about that too.
It'll be sent out.
He didn't want to come over today and run the 40. He could have picked it up.
It'll be sent out on Tuesday because the post office is closed on Monday. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm gonna take the over.
Taking the over. Okay, so Jaguars over. I got the Chargers over.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen,
no cover, right? No Chargers.
Nah, because straight up taking you know what? Sure, we'll take Jaguars because I don't have the Chargers winning, so I got a Jaguars winning. So
that's right. Because I keep thinking the Jaguars are favored because it feels like they should be. I don't understand why the Chargers are favored in this game. They just got into the playoffs after a terrible loss to the Broncos. It's like Jaguars should be able to beat them. Chargers have been up and down all year. No Mike Williams. You would think that would change. Jaguars are at home. That means they gave them 3 at home, and they still not favored. It's kind of puzzling to me.
Listen, there's a lot of puzzling things about Vegas, and then the games happen, and we're like, they knew. Playoffs is 0-0 though. You right, 100% word, 100%. Man, you guys, I'm like, my mind is blown right now. You guys don't think I could run 40-yard dash under 6 or 5?
It's only one.
Some of y'all don't even think I can get under 7.
7, I think you could get under 7. 6, if you training, I think you could maybe get under 6. Although your training, we should document your training because that would be freaking hilarious. I could imagine you picking up microwaves and all kind of stuff to supplement for the weights that we don't have. That would be hilarious. But yeah, off just one go, 6.6. Is that really where he's at?
So what are my percentages? What are my percentages under 7?
I mean, 7. I think you could get under 7.
100% under 7. Okay. What's the percentage under?
You know me. I'm never 100% on anything.
So 99.
I'll give you a 97% chance you could run it under 7.
97% chance under 7. What about under 6? What's my percentage of under 6?
18. 24.
24% under 6?
24%.
Okay.
24%.
And my percent under 5?
0.
But I thought you said nothing. You're not even going to give me a 1% chance?
That's the one. I told you I'd give you everything I own if you could run it under 5. That bet will go forever.
You're going to give me a 1% chance that I could run a 40-yard dash under 5?
0.00001 chance you could run it under 5.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Sure.
That's all I wanted to hear. All I wanted to hear.
So you got till February 26th, bro.
No. That's
when the
too.
combine starts.
Yeah, but we can't do it at the start of the combine.
You was the one suggesting that when I was saying
I
draft,
know,
you
and
was
then
all loud too. What about the combine, bro? What about the combine?
and then you told me when the combine date was, and I said, "Oh, no, that's way too close." Because like my birthday is in the beginning of February.
Tell me what your birthday got to do with running a 40.
It's my birthday. My birthday and my wife's birthday are right next to each other, so we're going to eat good for our birthday. Then you got the Super Bowl. I'm going to be eating for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, look at work.
You know what I'm saying?
This man said, I got my birthday, dog.
See, man. When your wife, her family, half the family is from Ghana, the other half is from DR. Them meals are not like,
So this is what you're telling
Caucasian
me.
dinner.
One meal or 2 birthday meals is going to sacrifice you running under a 6-second 40-yard dash.
But then you got the Super Bowl too the week after, so that's a lot of food in a 2-week span. And the back injury is still kind of
Carl said stop.
So maybe at the end of the combine more so than the after the combine.
So can we give them a date before we sign off today?
I don't think it was safe to sign off. But this is what we'll do.
Before sign off,
not safe to give a date before we sign off.
Okay.
But we will try to give. I will try to give you a date of clarity by the last episode of
he couldn't
Wild
even
Card
commit
Weekend.
to a date of clarity. He said, "I will try to give you a date of clarity." Listen, bottom line, you got till the day of the draft. That Thursday, if not, you bullshitted and you was stunned. We'll leave it at that.
I like that. We'll do that.
6 seconds. All right.
Listen,
seconds.
you can say I'm shooting for under 5.
And this is the stipulations of the bet.
There's no bet. I don't need a bet. We're just doing it to do it.
It's a bet. It's a gentleman's bet. It's not. I mean, damn, I'm gonna give you $700 if you run it under 5. Me in the chat just set up a whole GoFundMe for your under 5-second 40.
We might need it if I get seriously injured.
You cannot say you run a 4.6, 4.40 ever again if you don't run it under 5 seconds. 6. How about that? 6? If you can't run it under 6, you can never say that 4.6, 4.40 line again.
That is a deal.
All right, we shook on it. We digitally shook on it. Yo, Iris said the beard looks worried. That's because he is. He's extremely worried. He's like, damn, I can't say that. I've been saying that you've been saying that for like since we got out of high school. Yup. 89 acceleration in Madden. This will be hilarious. Shout out to Talking Giants. They do their little combine every year, I believe. They're doing the 3rd or 2nd annual combine. El Jefe, man. El Jefe threw a football like 50 yards, bro. And you saw me trying to throw a 50 out there on the field. It was like 45, and it was like a wall. It was like it was a wall at 45. Like, bro, you're not getting over 45. Ain't no way. He slung that thing 50-something yards, I think.
My arm can't do it. I can't do it because of the shoulder surgery from my athleticism. You know.
You literally sound like Kevin Hart talking about his bank account in that one comedy sketch. That's what you know, the way my
Evan Neal has a 75 speed on Madden.
Oh yeah, Beard is at a 62. NA. Speed NA. Acceleration NA. The Beard had how old you think that kid was that was throwing the football with us that day?
9, 10.
So the Beard had we were throwing the ball around. I would throw him the ball. He would hand it to the 9-year-old to throw it back to me.
I got shoulder surgery.
I feel you, bro. All right, so we got our bet here, man. Combine is the time. That's after the combine, you better. As soon as you see NFL Network put that combine on TV, you better get in that gym, start training, whatever that in that gym.
I got a home gym here.
All right, I know the microwave got like a couple boxes of some stuff you gotta ship out. Nah, shout out to the Beard one time, man. This is gonna be hilarious. Big shout out to the fam for rocking out with us today. Don't forget to pull up tomorrow, man. We having a lighthearted, fun time today. Tomorrow, you're going to see a much more serious Authentic with my New York Giants in the playoffs, man. Everything is on the line. The season is on the line. And my man Sergeant Mayhem said, the beard is on the clock. This is facts one time. We definitely appreciate all y'all pulling up. Shout out to all the new subscribers in the building, man. Welcome to the Authentic and the Beard fam one time. Again, make sure to pull up tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a little bit tough, man. It's been some long nights here in the graphics department. We've been grinding out. But y'all know what it is over here at Authentic and the Beard, man. Continue to raise that bar. Keep living those dreams because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Rest in peace to the podcast GOAT, Combat Jack. And enjoy y'all football today, man, especially you Giants fans. This is a test. This is our bye week. Scout these teams. Look at these squads, man. You know what I'm saying? And understand the circumstances and the environment that we are going to be in tomorrow in Minnesota. Big game, man. Again, big shout out to all of y'all, man. Enjoy this football. I know I'm about to do that. We got about a good hour before kickoff, so maybe put some food in your stomach, get a couple beers ready, put them on ice, man, and enjoy this football Saturday. It's going to be an amazing one, man. Again, we appreciate all y'all rocking out with us, man. And again, welcome to the AATV fam, to all the newcomers, man. We definitely appreciate all of y'all. Y'all be good. Enjoy y'all football Saturday, man. Peace!
Spike don't care.